controversy.
Welcome to the show. We're all a little hungover from yesterday. Sam got fucked up last night on his birthday.
It was my daughter's meet the teacher night.
Oh, you must have made a mess of that.
No, I didn't get...
How drunk did you get?
I wasn't drunk.
Well, yes, you were. You got loaded at your birthday. You went to the meet to the teacher.
Meet to the teacher.
That's what you gave. Provided a little meat for the teach.
No, it was a fairly uneventful rest of the day. Because, you know, it was meet the teacher. That was the highlight. Yeah, no, it wasn't... we probably witnessed it getting as ribald as it was going to get.
You got fucked up yesterday. I know it.
What are you talking about?
Drunk.
No, I didn't get...
Not the teacher.
I know this is like so cool to talk about.
That's my child.
You're gonna raise my...
Yeah.
You'll never be a parent.
Yeah, you don't fucking indoctrinate my child. Piece of shit.
We got cat litter boxes in the bathroom. I know what goes on here. I did come home, though, and have a nice a heaping helping. Everybody was very worried about me eating the Raising Cane's in studio because I didn't really partake too much because it was early in the morning.
Right.
When I got home, they made a great lunch.
Oh, that's nice, yeah.
Great lunch of chicken tenders, Texas toast, and pineapple Faygo. It was really good.
That's a nice birthday
And let me tell you about Faygo. It goes down smooth.
I was wondering if you were going to like the pineapple.
That's what I went for first.
That's cool.
To get it out of the way if you didn't like it.
Exactly, because I want to have the cotton candy and the ice pop flavor to really look forward to. To know, oh, don't forget, you got that sitting. You got so when it's really time to go nuts.
Yeah, when there's some kind of a wrestling thing on. Yeah, whatever it might be. Whatever wrestling highlight program you may enjoy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if there was that'd be great for a pay-per-view. Yeah, having that.
Drinking soda? Who'd watch that?
No, I was more referring to what I'd be watching.
Oh, I apologize. Okay.
Not crafting an event.
Oh, I thought you were just getting a little bit overconfident.
No, I'm really going to drink it.
Yeah.
You can watch.
Sam's drinking his Faygo tonight, 9 o'clock.
$20.
Be there.
No. Hey, have the kids made it home from Burning Man yet? Have they finally?
I don't know.
Have they finally gotten out of the desert?
They don't all have Chris Rock Diplo juice.
No, but they had didn't Chris Rock and Diplo
miles,
walk?
5 miles, and they finally caught a ride with the fan.
Yeah.
Burning Man never appealed to me anyway. I'm not an outdoor festival. I'll go to Ozfest, but I don't like outdoor festivals. I've done Bonnaroo.
No, you barely like leaving the house. I couldn't imagine.
Don't like it.
Going out into the desert for a week to get in touch with humanity through music would be.
If you are fucking high, it might be great. Yeah, there's footage of Chris.
And Diplo.
Yeah. If you're high, maybe it's great. I wish I could do ayahuasca because a friend of mine just did ayahuasca and she said it really is life-changing.
Yeah.
But I would love to be able she went to...
What do you think would happen if you did ayahuasca?
I don't know. It supposedly opens you up, opens up memories. It just kind of clears all these things that are cluttering. You just have a good... but she went to South America and was there for a week and did it for 4 nights. It's a real program.
Well, that's it. I think Ari said that you're supposed to really do it. That's what you have to do. There's a whole protocol before and after. You're not supposed to have sex for like a week after you do it.
Forget it.
Okay. I know that'd be tough for you. So many options.
Virile.
Yeah, you're a virile guy.
Thank you.
But you go to like a shaman or whatever, somebody that does this, and you go and you're with them for like 2 or 3 days, and then there's a whole period of coming off of it and everything. So you do have to, I think, take like a week to properly partake.
Yeah, this was, I want to say, she said she did it 4 nights. She said the 4th night was the longest one. And they walk you through it. There's buckets for you to vomit in because you do vomit. That's the part I wouldn't like, but it feels almost medicinal as opposed to getting high. I can't fuck with it because I don't know what that would mean for being sober, but I do want to do it because everyone I know who's done it has said it really is life-changing.
It feels like a leap, though, for you.
Yeah.
You can just do a gummy, right? Like, well, I mean, I know you can't, but
no, that's a getting. That to me is just to get high. I'm looking at this as almost like something you're going to like a shock therapy or something like that to just unlock.
Like when you did for your penis.
Kind of, yeah. It was fun. Needle right in the head. Showed me who's boss.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Can't you just look at it like it's a medical thing?
Yeah, that's how I do see it. But the puking would get me.
I think you're just in another place, and I would imagine, I didn't do it, but I would imagine it's like you're just getting rid of the garbage inside. It feels so good to like get rid of it.
I also say, have you done it or no?
No, I'm a little. It seems like it's like a commitment of a trip.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like if you eat a gummy and you're too high, in an hour you come down. But it's like when you're locked in for hours. Like when I've done acid before, and it's like 7-8 hours. You're in it.
Yeah, these are days.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it goes south early,
you're fucked.
You're fucked.
She said no one left, though. She said there's a lot of people. She showed me pictures of the room and stuff, and it's immaculate and clean, and like the room, like the whole place is very clean and very. It's obviously like it's what they do, and it seems to be a legit operation. But it just the idea, like I don't think I would ever have done well on acid. The way I panic and I don't know. I don't know. Nobody ever wanted to trip with me. I did mescaline, but acid people were like, it's wrong for you.
Oh, even when you were like young.
Yeah. They're like, acid is probably not for you.
Wow. Even as a youngster, that's so funny.
But mescaline was fun. Ayahuasca.
You don't want to panic. You don't want to get paranoid.
No.
And those are things that you're prone to.
I think there's probably somebody there that kind of helps steer you.
There is, yeah, I'm sure.
So if you start going like, I'm freaking out, they were like, oh, calm down, like bring you back down to earth. Because I'm sure it happens all the time.
Oh, yeah. She said there's a couple of people that were tempted to leave after the first day or the second, but they didn't. They got talked. Other people talked them into staying. And they went through it, and it was pretty amazing. The food is good. You're not supposed to drink coffee for like a week before.
Yeah. I wonder, though, how many people any of the effects actually stick with. It feels like a very, very heightened version of, when you go on like a great, relaxing vacation and you have a whole new perspective while you're out there and you come back and you're like, you know what? I'm going to change everything. I'm going to be a different guy. Like, I'm going to try to maintain this sort of new vibe I've got.
Sure.
And within 2 days, you're back to exactly what you were doing before.
Yes, and how much of it is just a drug-induced, very convincing high, and how much of it is actually therapeutic. I don't know. I have no answer for it. But enough people have done it that say it really is helpful.
Long term or in the moment?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because even therapy, right? It's not like you can go to therapy once or even for a few weeks and go, okay, now I'm done. Like it's kind of an active thing. Even if you start going less often, you still got to do your check-ins and keep yourself.
Yeah, I haven't gone in a little while. You kind of get stale with it after a while. Like you run into a wall, but then you're like, no, I think I need to go back. Like I start to feel, I'm not handling things as well. I'm getting, whatever. You start to feel it in yourself.
I get that.
The person you live with tells you.
Right.
Yeah. You need meetings. All right.
You don't want that.
Yeah, no, but it's helpful.
It is, yeah. That's one of those things that's tough to argue.
Yeah.
When the person who lives with you tells you you need to go to a meeting or you need to go back to therapy.
Yeah.
Because they're not personally attacking you.
No.
They're telling you, I know what this is.
And when you've developed a hobby, a bit of a hobby that has now become consuming and is taking up too much space in the house.
Are we speaking directly about, for instance, like posters.
It's crazy. Like I have to stop. Like there's one more I want to get, or
Good.
2 more.
Good. I was just thinking because before you were like, there's just the one more, so this should be it.
But I did go recently to get these giant ones framed, and neither one were in the condition that I liked. So I was like, no, just don't do it. Just keep them. I'm not gonna do it. I'm like tapering off.
But only because they're not in the condition that you want.
Yeah, but even that, I'm like, am I really gonna bring this fucking monster? She'll murder me. Like I just can't do it.
But if you found a mint,
Fuck her.
right? It's a dangerous thing. I get it. Like you go, you know what? Because I've had those moments where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna sell like all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Right, and just get all the clutter out of the way, and then I'll have like all this money to whatever, like buy a watch, buy something, like make it so much easier, simple, streamlined. And then one of 2 things happens. Either you go, well, no, I'd like to add that to the collection. So if I'm adding to the collection, I better not sell it yet. Or you start looking at your stuff and you're like, well, actually, I want to keep that. And then you're not getting rid of anything.
No, and I understand hoarders, like, but not in the dirty, gross, or like I saved this tuna fish from the late '80s, like, but stuff that means something to you. I understand how things can mean so much to you that really don't have a lot of value to other people.
Right. It does feel great to do a big clean out, like when there's stuff that has just been piling up that you don't need. And you just start throwing stuff into trash bags and you get it all out of there and there's all this space. Feels great.
Yeah. I have an idea for a YouTube channel. I don't want to say it, but I'll never do it, though, so I wouldn't be able to do it.
But do you think it's a hit?
No, I just wanted to do it.
Oh, what are we going to do?
Where I destroy collectibles. Like, where you
mean?
No, not against people's will, but you get people to give you, or you somehow procure things that are hard to get.
Yeah.
That some people would collect. And you just destroy them.
I mean, it's not bad.
No.
You would have angry clicks if you had a rare Pokemon card.
And you just cut it in half.
Right. There's only X number of these left in the world.
Yeah.
Just threw it in a fire.
Or just something that people value. Like, hey, that's a rare, like the first Kiss poster. That's one I would still buy. It's got a red background. It's from 1974. It's hard to get in good condition.
You know, it'd be great if you could get it funded. If you could get like a sponsor. And then you go to people's collections, like you come to my place and go, I want to destroy your Mick Foley shirt. Let me buy it off you.
I mean, I can say that to you now. I want to destroy it.
Well, you can say you want.
How much you want for it?
You don't have like $200, do you?
Done. I would just have to wear it.
If you could find something like that, like, because then the collectors would also get mad at the people who sold it.
Yep.
Right? Like, how could you? Okay, you're telling them straight up, I'll pay you more than you would get for it. If you sold it on eBay, whatever. This picture of Kiss here is $100 on eBay. I'll give you $250 for it right now, but I'm going to destroy it. You see if people are willing to get. All right.
You pay them more than they want for it.
Way more, but they know you're going to destroy it, and then you don't have to do it right in front of their faces to make it hurt.
Well, how about if that's part of the show? You not only, you pay them a lot more than they want, but they have to destroy it.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I mean, like, say you're selling
now you're getting cruel, though.
No, but it's like, because they're selling it. Like, let's say you sold your wrestling figures. What are they worth? $30?
No, the whole.
How much do you get? Like, say $2,000, maybe more. Say $5,000
more
for your figures. Let's just say that was what the figure was. Let's say you put them up for an auction somewhere and say, hey, I'm selling all these figures for $5,000, and they came to you and said, okay, we'll give you $8,000 or $10,000, but you have to destroy them.
Well, now you're getting into that weird, like, and it's not a bad genre, but that genre of how badly will someone humiliate themselves for money. And not that it's humiliation, but you're watching somebody go through pain for money.
And it's
which is a little like, now we're starting to can I strip this person of their humanity? What's the price?
But it is an interesting study on collections and what do they mean to us, because
$8,000.
It is right, but if you're selling it, a lot of times people will sell something because they just collected it and they don't get attached to it. And they're like, yeah. And other times it means so much to you, but you need some money, so you sell it. So would people do that?
And you'd have to find the real people, not people who just have stuff that they would sell anyway.
And there's a million ways to find people selling collections or selling these things online.
You know what the key would be? You put it under the guise of, we want to interview you for a collectibles show. So it's not even people trying to sell necessarily. And so it's like you're just interviewing them about their collection because they love it so much, because that's the people that you would need for this to work. And then you start making offers.
Yeah.
Right? Because that way you know it's not just a dealer.
A guy who's getting
that's trying to sell.
Sure,
I don't care if you destroy it or not. I was going to sell it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I want to interview you about your collection. I want you to show it off. And then once you get there, how much did you say that was worth? Oh, it goes for this much on the market. Well, what if I were to give you double plus what it's worth? What if I were to give you 150% what it, or 250% what it was worth? Then the wife would be there. Yeah, you should do it. We were
in a second. She would, for face value, she would go get rid of it. It's a comic book. It says 35 cents on it. It was worth 50,000.
Yeah, we'll do it for $3. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I only thought of that because it would be so painful to do. Like, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, right, and it's damaging though. Like they're how it's like when you go back when we did it not too long ago when we went back and watched the Joe Schmo show. It's at the time you're just watching this prank get pulled off, but then you also realize like this is ruining this man's trust forever. Like you've psychologically damaged this person by putting him in an environment where everyone's lying to him. And forever, that's going to affect him mentally. Like this, in the moment, they'll be like, of course I'll take the $8,000. But then you'll get to see them, and you'll see it in their face, like watching them do this thing that they don't want to do. And then you'll leave, and it will kind of ruin their life, probably.
Well, that's why I wanted to get people who are selling things. And there are a lot of people who are selling them. And some are dealers, but some are people who just have... You know, on Facebook, there's enough places to look.
Yeah.
Where you can find legit people who are like, hey, I'm getting rid of my collection if you want to.
Yes.
Like, and there's dealers, and then, like, there's even dealers in these Facebook groups. But then you have people that are legitimately like, no, you know what? It's time to get rid of it, and I love it, and those are the people I'm talking about. People who are ready to get rid of it. Anyway, does getting rid of it matter to you, what happens to it? Or,
I think most collectors want to see their stuff go to a good home.
I think you're right.
And that's where it would get dicey.
Yeah.
Because I do think that even when people are, and you see that on like those Facebook groups, even when people are ready to get rid of their junk,
yeah,
they still, you give it like a life, right? Like this is meaningless tchotchkes, and you give it some sense of life that you actually want it to live on. You okay, well, I don't need it anymore and it's getting too much, but I want to make sure that it goes to the right home. I want to make sure that it'll be appreciated.
But you ask yourself, like, what is it that I like about this stuff? Like, why do I have this? I got 3 posters in the mail last night, right? 1 tube. And they were in hideous condition.
They were.
Yeah. Luckily, I have 2 of them already. I probably bought doubles thinking a while ago.
Luckily is right. That was a load off.
But I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I don't want these.
Right.
Like, I bought them, like, because the couple of them I've gotten are rare. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's really hard to find. And like, okay, I get why I got that one.
But there's the thrill of the chase, too.
It's the thrill of the chase.
A lot of times, by the time it arrives in the mail, you don't even really care anymore. It's the thrill of the chase, and especially when you're bidding on stuff online and you found this thing that you didn't think you would ever find again.
Right. Yeah.
And then you convince yourself, like, well, what's worse is regretting buying it or regretting not buying it. I can always make the money back, but I might never see this again. And then you buy it, and then you've spent the money, and then it comes in the mail, and you're like, I would have much preferred the cash.
Yeah, what am I doing?
I don't need this.
Like, or even if I like the item. Like, I've put some up that I'm actually very happy with, and I like them. Because I think you get bored also with your aesthetics the way they are.
Sure.
Like, when you have this is hanging, that's hanging, like, you just kind of get bored. Like, I want to change it up a little, which is fine. But totally I know that in a year, I'm not going to want my house to look the way it looks.
No, and what are you going to go? Are you going to sell posters?
No.
Right? Are you going to spend a whole bunch of time trying to sell posters on the internet?
No.
Just sit.
I'll just save them in museum glass.
Right. And then a museum will be like, yeah, you're wasting our glass.
Yeah, we don't care.
We don't need
What are you
this.
doing with this shit?
Don't care. And why are you protecting it from the sun if it's just sitting in a closet?
And it's in the hallway. And it's not that rare an item that you have to protect. I just don't like the reflections, so I protect it from the sun.
Yeah, no sun's hitting it. Nobody cares.
But it's a study like what is it about me that makes me collect this stuff or always need this thing, this fucking thing.
It's that obsession. It's that obsessive thing.
Yeah.
That just kicks in. And then you also want to be I want to have the best poster collection. Right? Like I want to make sure that people know that I'm the real deal. I'm such a fan of this band or this whatever that I want. If I get this, I'll have the best poster collection.
Yeah, but I don't show it to anybody.
I know.
Just
Nobody
me.
cares. And even if you did, like, you're an established person. Like, Jim Norton is already a built brand. You're already known. For you to be like, also, I have the best Kiss poster collection. People go,
yeah.
Who cares? We know you from your comedy specials.
No one
watched
cares.
you on The Tonight Show. What are you talking about? Kiss poster collection?
Like, if you're going to do it, if you're going to, like John 5.
That's different.
His Nights in Satan service, I'll promote again his excellent Instagram. It's all really, like, he has rare shit, like bootlegs from like El Salvador, like all this weird stuff, like, releases overseas, Mexican newspaper posters, things that you would never be able to get.
But that's also the dream that we'll one day have, like, this space and money.
A giant house
where a whole wing of it and money that has to go in because you have to design a collecting room around putting things up and displaying things. So you think that one day you'll have this museum quality space, and you won't. Like, Kirk Hammett has this incredible horror collection.
Yep.
Incredible. But he's Kirk Hammett. Like, of course he does. He could buy a house, like, what's his name? The film director who has
Guillermo del Toro. Yeah.
He bought a house just to work out of.
Yep.
And so he can make that his, like, just explosion of everything he loves. But how many of us are ever going to buy a property? Like, it wouldn't make sense. What are you going to buy a house so you can write your jokes?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You need a certain amount of room and a big home to do that, like a giant collecting area.
Right.
And half of it probably just sits there and doesn't bring you any joy. I actually have a few of the things that he's showing.
So you
really
feel
like
good about yourself? You're thinking to yourself, oh, actually, maybe this is good that I'm collecting like
No. I just, I don't feel bad.
You shouldn't.
No, I like looking at it, though.
You're not in the vintage T-shirt rap, though, are you?
No T-shirts.
That's dangerous. Vintage T-shirts are crazy now.
I almost bought those 4 things right there.
You should scroll up a little.
These 4.
You should.
I almost bought them off of, there's 4 things from Kiss Meets the Phantom posters.
I can't believe you didn't get those.
Can you click on one?
Sure.
Because they were expensive, and I couldn't spend the money.
German Attack of the Phantom and Italian Attack of the Phantom poster.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I almost bought them off eBay, but I was told no.
You were told no?
Yeah, they were way too expensive.
Oh, Paul Stanley Solo 78 tour jacket.
Man,
that's
nice.
Awesome. A red
like
satin.
that's a legit collection.
That's an awesome piece.
That first thing, if you go to the top, Troy.
Yep. Which one here?
No, the way up at the top, at the very first piece. Yep. He has this thing from that top left banner. That's from this Kiss Off competition that, like, when Kiss was like 1974. And this is like a weird banner. It's a one-of-a-kind banner. It was like a big thing in their history.
And it's signed. It's a great banner. But you have an apartment in the city. Like,
I can't do this.
You'd look like an idiot having that up. This doesn't look like an idiot where he is.
No. It's a giant house.
Right.
I want to go to John 5's house.
And he's a musician.
I want to go to his house. I don't know him. And he probably wouldn't want me there, but I just want to go and peek around.
Right.
I want to just go and poke around while he's on the road.
Can I look at your stuff?
Hey, dude, you guys go to, like, South America. Can I just go poke around?
I won't touch anything.
I won't touch poke around your stuff.
I don't touch anything. I just like to look.
Oh, Jack.
John, I'm your friend, right?
Yes. Yeah. The posters that had no corner damage, Jack. I don't touch it. I just look at it. Yeah, so whatever, that whole ayahuasca thing. I didn't mean to get off on a Kiss tangent.
It's.
I'm sure
it's all part of it.
Very boring for people. But
so do you have to clear your purchases with your significant other? You said that she said no to the Phantom posters.
I stopped. No, I just hang them sometimes, and she doesn't notice for a week. I hung one yesterday, and she has not noticed yet.
Are you worried that she will?
Yeah, she absolutely will,
going to
because she's already told me she hated it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, so she told you that she hated it before you bought it?
Yeah, but I loved it so much more than I thought I would.
It's like you showed her on the computer. This is what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
She's like, I hate that poster. And she doesn't know that it is hanging on her wall.
It was on the way, and this was a mint copy, and I had to put it up.
It's on the wall.
Yeah.
In the foyer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the most trafficked portion
It
of the
sure
house.
is.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I see when I walk out of my bedroom in the morning, because it's in the bottom right hand.
Does it make you happy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
Just put it up yesterday.
I bought I bought a replica Chucky doll recently. It makes me happy to see that every day. It's down. I have to keep it in the basement. My wife won't let me have it anywhere else in the house.
Why?
She doesn't like it. She thinks it's really creepy because it's a Chucky doll, full
Yeah.
size replica. But it walk into my studio, there's Chucky. I'm like, this is awesome. I rule.
Yeah. And that's something something I would never buy.
Right.
Like a
Look
Chucky.
at that.
Oh yeah, that's
That
kind of cool.
rules.
I get it.
Looks just like the movie.
Yeah. See, that would do nothing for me. Like, it's weird. Like, what one person loves, another person just puts no value on.
And if you look in the corner, see that gray and black in the top left corner?
Yep.
That is an acrylic on velvet original painting of The Undertaker. I look at that and I go, there's just the one of those. I'm the man for having
It makes you happy to have it.
Yeah.
That is an ugly creature.
You talking about Chucky?
Or the gentleman in the picture with him.
Are you talking about the foreground or the background?
It's two monsters horrifying each other.
Could you clarify here what your...
Yeah, little shit that just makes you happy to have.
Look at there. The championship is right there. I didn't win that championship. It's just hanging on the wall. I didn't win that. But Dan Soder told me he bought one. It got me excited. I had to buy one too.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I look at it, I get excited,
Yeah.
It's a good thing. But yeah, so Burning Man, everybody is coming home because, they go out into the desert and they spend, what is it, usually a week?
I think it's about a week, yeah.
Yeah. But there were tropical storms. And so I think it's 5 miles off of a main road, right? So it's a mud dirt road, 5 miles into the desert to get to this festival. And the tropical storms came in. Everybody kind of just hunkered down.
Sheltered in place.
Right. And they're in like RVs and stuff like that. And the road got totally washed out.
Yeah.
So they go, do not leave. You're going to get stuck. And they said people were trying to leave and there were all these cars getting stuck.
Yeah.
Because it's all mud because it all got destroyed. And obviously it's the desert. They're not used to having storms out there. I think it was one of the only tropical storms Nevada has had.
And people were just, and I would have been one of those idiots that tried to leave. Like, just get the fuck out of here, you old manic.
In the middle of the storm.
And they just got stuck,
down.
yeah. Yeah, and they said like it would harden again. Because the advantage is it's so hot there.
Right.
That the mud is probably going to harden in a day or so.
But then they said, I think on Monday or Tuesday of this week was the day they finally opened the road again. And they go, look, the road's open, but we would advise you stay another day because it's going to take hours and hours and hours. There's 70,000 people all trying to leave. Yeah, look at that. That's a Wrangler, right? So that's already high up off the ground. And it's built, it's
built
lifted.
For that shit, yeah.
It's a lifted Wrangler, and it's still stuck in the mud.
Yeah, that sucks. Because then people have to get out, and you're in the mud.
Yeah. But they got an orgy tent at the Burning Man.
A bunch of dirty, muddy feet, foul assholes.
I think Andrew Schultz is the one that told me about the orgy tent in the Burning Man.
Oh, he went to it?
Not this year, but years ago we were talking about it. Yeah, he said it was weird because he just went in and watched. And he was like, it was a real weird vibe.
Yeah, that seems like one.
You wouldn't orgy tent at the Burning Man?
No, I don't think so.
Well, even if you were stuck, it's like, we can't go anywhere. Maybe we should orgy tent.
I could never. Like, my dick panics.
It does?
Yeah, I just couldn't.
Don't take us here, Jim. Don't take us here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all those people watching, my dick would just like, forget it.
But they're not watching you.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
It's like dancing.
I
don't dance on the dance floor because I think people are going to laugh at me.
You just pull up your pants and lean back?
Yeah, just kind of relax and nod my head.
Nice.
Like a cool guy. Yeah, I'd be one of those assholes getting stuck.
You would?
Yeah, without a doubt.
You'd see a Mercedes stuck in the desert because you wanted to try something new. All you wanted to do was expand your horizons. You wanted to try something new, and now you're stuck in the mud in the desert.
But the idea that 70,000 people are leaving at the same time.
And your lady would be in the passenger seat yelling at you about, why did you leave early? I told you we shouldn't leave. I know.
Why did we just wait? I fucking know. And I would have a new Kiss Destroyer poster rolled up in the back. There's going to get fucking mud on it. But just the idea that you have to wait behind all these slow assholes driving over a fucking hardened mud road.
Yeah, that's why they said just chill. Hang out here on Monday or Tuesday and leave tomorrow.
Or the pressure of being first in that line, knowing you're the first line into the mud. Like, if I get stuck, everyone else gets stuck.
Yeah, that's true.
Can we see a picture of that track? I want to say it's like 6 rows of cars or something.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see the trucks leaving?
Yeah,
Burning
the
Man?
cars leaving Burning Man. Because there's a photo of like a whole giant row of cars, and I think they're like 6 or 10 wide or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That just sucks. God, I would hate that. I would hate that festival.
You would.
That's not. I didn't like Mardi Gras.
Burning Man and Mardi Gras are not the same
No,
thing.
but just any of those things. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, about 10.
You'd be the one. You'd be the asshole trying to switch lanes.
I 100%.
Fast. Like, what is this dickhead do? We're all stuck here, and this one asshole in a luxury SUV is switching lanes.
I'd be right though. I guarantee you, there's fucking people going slow on their phones.
I think when you go to Burning Man though, you have to succumb to the lifestyle. You have to just chill.
This is what it is. Yeah,
we're gonna. Let's start heading out. It's going to take us all day to get out of here. It's only 5 miles, but it's going to take hours.
Well, 5 miles. What road does it take you to? Like, it takes you 5 miles.
But then, and then it's still like
you're still on the highway.
Nothing road. I think it's way more than 5 miles away from I think Reno might be the closest city.
Reno is, but I guarantee even when you get there, the shit traffic it bleeds in.
100%. They're not. It's 70,000 people, especially if they've been stuck. They're all leaving at the same time.
You imagine what the toilets on the way home must have looked like? A line 50 people deep.
Well, a lot of people are in RVs, hopefully, so they just have. I mean, hopefully their septic's up to date.
That's probably not nearly as bad as being in a car with a tent.
That would suck. Being in an RV, at least you have a somewhat comfortable bed. Maybe you got a generator or something.
Do you know what the worst is when you're in the RV and it's pouring rain and it's muddy and you hear, we come into our tent's got a hole in it.
And you're a Burning Man, so you're supposed to be
welcoming.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Sorry, we don't have any room. Fuck you.
Full. We're all full. You slide open the window like in The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, just wouldn't allow it.
Nope.
All right. Is this what's his name?
Nut.
Knut.
No, Knut. All right. Or is it Newt? Hey, man.
Knut in Nevada.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, bud.
The Burning Man, it's not just a desert. It's a dry lake bed they call a playa. I've camped out there 4 or 5 times. It's really cool.
You love it.
Yes.
But
I went to when during COVID they canceled Burning Man and we went to what was called Renegade Burning Man in 2021.
Nice.
It was no regulations and it got kind of crazy.
What did you do?
But I got naked.
Nice, dude.
That's great.
Nice, dude. Are you an in shape guy or a little overweight?
I'm fat as fuck.
Nice, just a big fat. So is this Burning Man or the Gathering of the Juggalos?
When we were driving in there, the first thing my girlfriend saw was a dude riding naked on a bicycle.
That's what's up, dude. That was Troy.
Yeah, sans seat.
All tatted up. Yeah, no seat. Nice pole sticking up. So, if you were at Burning Man and you were in all this traffic and everything, would you be angry or panicking, or is it just like, whatever, dude, we're here. It is what it is?
Yeah, just whatever, dude. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I live on I-80, so we see them drive through all the time.
Yeah.
When you're leaving Burning Man, how long does it take to get from like the main Burning Man site, the campground? Like when you're leaving and everyone else is leaving, how long of a ride are you in for that day?
I heard this year it was taking about 7 hours.
Wow.
To go how long?
the 4 or 5 miles from the main Burning Man site to the highway.
How long would that normally be without the mud problem?
I mean, 5 miles.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
No. I mean, when normally when a Burning Man, like it's still got to be 4 or 5 hours.
It always takes about 6 to 8 hours to get out of Burning Man on what they call Exodus on the way out.
Right.
I guess it's just part of the deal, right? You're just prepared for it.
It's a part of your trip. Yeah, it's like this is what. Let's say going to the airport. You're going to sit and go through security. It is what it is.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, bud.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I remember, like, you don't forget this. Even as a kid, I remember going to like a wrestling show at Wembley Stadium. Wembley, sure. I think you've heard of it.
I have, yeah. Hulk Hogan.
Bro, I mean, his lies are out of control.
He wrestled it, and there should have been a little boy there, but the boy passed away.
He's still telling that story. He was literally telling it while we were on break.
Yeah.
His lies are out of control. He was on Rogan's show. He's just lying.
No, he's not.
100% he was lying.
I don't believe
He
it.
went on Rogan's show. He was like, when Brock got out of the UFC, I was his first opponent. No, you weren't.
Yes, he was.
He wasn't even in WWE when Brock got out of the UFC.
Nah, but you see, you're just saying that because you're a company man.
There's no company about it. He just lies. There's so many. Look, another Hulk Hogan. Another Hulk Hogan lie caught red-handed from his appearance on JRE. I mean, I felt bad for Joe. I needed something. Tony Hinchcliffe was sitting right next to him. It's like, Tony, tell him. He's lying.
Now, I did see the picture of Joe and Tony, and is Tony a big wrestling fan?
Tony's a big wrestling fan. I don't know if he is like as big as me in the sense that he can just sit there and be like, this timeline doesn't match up. There's no way this Wembley story is true.
Sure
it couldn't be.
I cry every time I hear the song.
I do too because it's so full of lies.
No, it's not. Beautiful song. Poor boy, sick.
Is this him telling the Wembley story on Joe Rogan?
Let me just give it a preview.
Okay.
I hope so. Very moving story.
I was at the show. Hogan was out of the WWE. He wasn't there.
It's not true. You're just saying that.
Why would I say that?
Vince told you to.
Why would Vince be interested in that?
Well, I don't want to get into it now. I'm busy.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's a lie.
You're tired of Hulk Hogan's good name being besmirched?
Yes. He's telling these great stories, and people are giving him shit. People like you are just jealous that you're not in Hulk's inner circle.
He goes like, when Brock got out of the UFC, I was the first guy they put him with. He fought Brock before Brock went to UFC.
Maybe he might have a little CTE.
I mean, it's
taking
like
a few fucking hits, big knees to the head.
I do sometimes wonder if he knows what is the truth and what is just total legend.
Right, yeah.
And he might have just like made these stories up in his head so much that he doesn't even know.
Yeah, you've been telling him for so long.
Like the Wembley story he's been telling for so long that maybe he truly does think, no, I was in Wembley. Because he said he was in Wembley. He was with Simon Cowell. He brought Simon Cowell back to the United States to work on after Wembley.
Oh, that's cool.
To work. And it's like all this stuff like that. None of this.
It all happened.
It could have all happened, but it's certainly not in the way that he described.
Yeah.
This video is called "Has Hulk Hogan Ever Said Anything True?"
Yeah, no, he has.
I mean, there's like video evidence, like recent history that dictates that this couldn't have happened.
Nah, you see, you guys are having revisionist history because you're angry at Hulk.
I'm not angry at Hulk.
You're a Hulkamaniac who's disenfranchised.
I'm a disenfranchised
Hulkamaniac.
You can never trust a disenfranchised Hulkamaniac.
No, not at all. He was at Wembley. He was going to wrestle for that.
I was at Wembley.
I wish you weren't.
I was the lad.
And your foreskin was too tight.
Yeah, the song. Hulk Hogan sang a song about a poor young boy with phimosis.
Yeah, phimosis.
Then I'd be like, yeah, I can vouch for that.
Yeah, the fluid builds up in it and it begins to smell like a locker room.
Well, that's not what no doctor ever said that.
You have to squeeze it like the balloon and tinkle goes all over your thighs.
He didn't say anything about thighs.
Well, for our guest, it's just...
What, sitting under the learning tree?
Not our guest, but our friend. What is the learning tree?
The learning tree is what somebody sits under as two experts speak, and they can just sit there and take all the information in. You've never heard of the expression?
I've heard of it, but I didn't know what it meant.
We are the experts. I'm putting us up on a pedestal.
No, it's silly.
I like that you were so far removed. You were like, I don't even understand the context of what you're saying.
Yeah, I didn't understand. We have Saraya here because she's filming our interview today.
That's right.
She's just sitting there.
That's right.
We should chat with her.
Would you like to?
Of course. She come up.
Step up to the table.
Yeah. We always like a good Soraya update, and she's a big wrestling fan.
She's one of the biggest.
Yeah. Big Hulk Hogan fan. Do you think Hogan's full of shit?
No.
He lies a lot, Soraya.
I have to put my microphone up.
We can't hear it.
Oh, hello, everybody. Hello, friends.
How are you, Soraya?
I'm very well, and thank you for happy birthday.
Thank you.
And thank you for the autograph and the picture.
When I got here, because I told you that when I did that signing a couple weeks ago, she had messaged me, I wish I could go. And when I sat down, she said, there's something I've been wanting to do. And I went, oh, no.
All of a sudden you heard a gunshot.
No. I wouldn't do that.
And she put a piece of paper and she went, can I have your autograph? And I went, oh, that's very sweet. Of course you can.
She's very kind.
And then she was like, and I want to take a picture. And instead of doing it like one traditionally does at a meet and greet where it would be 2 in frame, she just held her phone up to me and took a photo of me sitting there uncomfortably and then asked me to sign her book and offered me money, which I obviously turned down.
Wait, are you sure?
Yes.
How much did you offer him?
Well, I believe it was $20 for the full package.
$20.
It's very kind of you.
$20, but you keep that 20.
Okay.
Brandon in Minnesota. What's up, Brandon?
Hey, how are you? Okay, so have you guys seen the Twitter thread? It's by a guy named Alan_Cheapshot, and it's literally probably 60 tweets in a row of all the lies that Hulk Hogan has told over the course of 30 years.
Well, the guy probably just hates Hogan. He's disenfranchised Hulkamaniac.
Why do you think this is all the work of disenfranchised Hulkamaniac?
I know it is. Hulk doesn't lie. It's bullshit.
So I mean, this one's really good. John Buscemi sadly died in 1982, but apparently, according to the Hulkster,
Jim Belushi,
he
not
partied
John
with him
Buscemi.
after WrestleMania 2 in 1986.
He did say John Belushi partied with him after WrestleMania, and it was a date in which Belushi had passed.
Yeah, but that could just be he mixes up a date.
It was WrestleMania 2.
No, but he's mixing up date. He probably got high with him at one point, but maybe he fucked up the date.
It's WrestleMania 2.
Yeah.
Well,
He said after WrestleMania 2, I partied with John Belushi because it was in Chicago. And it was. I think he wrestled in Chicago. They did it in 3 venues. Yeah, his was in Chicago, right?
Had he ever wrestled in Chicago before that?
I'm sure he had wrestled in Chicago, but WrestleMania 2 was a huge...
Sure. But I mean, again, as you get older and your CTE starts kicking in, you may start fucking losing dates.
But CTE wouldn't really talk about how the fact that he says they turned down being a bass member for Metallica and the Rolling Stones.
Well, that was a little bit of an embarrassing one. He did say, at one point, he's changed that story since, but at one point he did say that he was almost the bassist for Metallica.
That would have been so awesome.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Lars said that he doesn't know anything about Hulk Hogan. He doesn't like wrestling. He's never met him, and that never happened.
I think Lars is just in on it because Lars realizes what a mistake they made.
Well, do you think Lars is potentially a disenfranchised Hulkamaniac?
Sure he is.
I think that's possible.
Sure he is. He sings for the boys and girls.
Better than Brewers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that Lars is just angry because he knows that how much better Metallica would have been with Hulk.
Do you think that better?
100%. Rob Trujillo's good. Don't get me wrong.
But not.
He ain't Hulk.
He ain't
Hulk
the
would stand there strumming away with his headband, making eyes, bug eyes to the audience and go crazy.
Crazy Hulkster eyes.
Ripping his shirt off.
Maybe you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, all this shit.
You know what? I think Jim's correct.
Well, there's a quote that he says he was pals with Lars Ulrich. Thank you, Brandon. I was big pals with Lars Ulrich, and he asked me if I wanted to play bass with Metallica in their early days, but it didn't work out. And then Lars was like, no, I'd never met that guy in my life.
Has anybody ever heard him play the bass guitar?
I believe he plays bass guitar.
Sure he does.
I don't know if it's... is Metallica... How is their bassist?
Incredible.
He's very, very good.
He's pretty good.
When Cliff died, Newstead was incredible.
Jason was great, and Rob Trujillo was incredible.
And how was Cliff?
I mean, one of the best in metal ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if Hulk Hogan is one of the best bassists in the history of metal, but he does own a bass guitar.
And they did have tryouts, so maybe he did try out.
No, I don't think he did.
At least Lars asked him to join.
He said in this quote that you just pulled up from Loudwire, he said Lars asked me if I wanted to play bass with Metallica.
I believe Hulk.
You think that you would attribute CTE to misremembering that Lars Ulrich asked me to join Metallica?
I think Lars is, again, regretting the mistake Metallica made.
You think Lars is lying here?
Oh, yeah. Since they've just kind of fallen off since then, and I think that they have to recognize it's because the bass is lackluster.
Yeah.
And Hulk would have fixed that.
Yeah, between Napster and throwing Hulk Hogan out of the band, Lars has made a lot of mistakes.
A terrible move. Yeah. Soraya, who do you believe?
I think I believe Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Why would he lie?
Why would he lie?
You're right. Exactly. I'm glad you know where your bread's buttered.
Doesn't make sense.
No. So, Troy, you're a music guy. On this one, does it sound like Hogan's probably telling the truth?
I'm going to guess probably not.
Oh, okay. All right. So
and especially like when that was like 87, 86 when Cliff Burton died. Like that's the height of Hulkamania, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why it didn't work out.
86 would have been WrestleMania 2, 87 WrestleMania 3. So yeah, you're talking about possibly the lead up to Hogan versus Andre.
Yeah, so why would you be like, hey, stop doing that and come play bass in Metallica?
Right. I know you're headlining a sold out Pontiac Silverdome. Well, with Andre, but would you want to play bass in Metallica?
It might not have been after Cliff Burton died. It might have been after that, like while Jason was in the band. Who knows? It might have been 5, 6, 7, 8 years after that.
Maybe like Jason's getting on our nerves, Hulkster. Would you want to come and join?
Yeah.
When he left, yeah, that's right. So Newsted left. And I think they had Bob Rock filling in on bass for a little bit.
So you think this was like Hollywood Hogan era, like when the NWO was hot, they were like, hey, I know you're Hollywood Hogan in the NWO, and you're like in your late 40s at this point. Would you want to just start being a professional metal bassist?
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
It would be fun. I mean, if Metallica did do that.
If they did that in that era.
Yes.
Like just out of nowhere. They were like, also, we're cutting all of our hair short. Also, this is our new bassist, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
It would have been the greatest move in metal ever.
Because he'd be doing all those Hulk things.
Of course he would.
While James is singing the Four Horsemen, he'd be ripping his shirt off, not playing the bass.
It's my gimmick, brother. I got to do the gimmick.
Got to do it. People
got to do the gimmick.
That's what they're here for.
He would upstage pop a head every show trying to rip his shirt off and stuff.
I don't know, that might bother people.
Yeah.
In the middle of Battery. See Hulk Hogan tearing his shirt off. They might put, what are you fucking doing?
I got to do the ear thing, brother. I got to cup the ear.
Yeah, if you do that, they'd all go, fuck you.
It would have been awesome, dude. And when we saw Metallica at the Apollo, if Hulk Hogan was on the bass, that would have ruled.
That would have been sick.
It would have been sick.
How great was Metallica at the Apollo?
They were great.
Incredible.
But I could think of one thing that would have made it even better.
Yeah.
If the Hulkster, if they had a 6'8" giant Hulk Hogan playing bass, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, I don't think he's lying. I think that'd be smirching his good name, like you said.
You think Hogan probably was asked to be the bassist of Metallica?
I think so.
Okay. Right.
And I think I heard.
You're pretty smart.
I think I heard at one point that even Les Claypool auditioned to be the bass player of Metallica.
Well,
Yeah, is he lying too, Sam?
No.
Oh, is he already lying?
Les Claypool as a professional musician is probably more believable than Hulk Hogan, the famous 80s wrestler.
Oh, maybe.
You see what I'm saying? Like I could see Les Claypool doing it.
Yeah. Him and Hulk probably both. But Hulk got asked. That's the problem. That's why that Lars doesn't want to talk about it, because he probably made a lot of these guys who were his friends
right
audition. Like Les Claypool, I'm sure they're friendly, and then all of a sudden Hulk, he's like, "Fuck, dude, you want the gig?" And he's embarrassed that Hulk turned him down.
Maybe that's what it was. Hogan was like, "Nah, I'm gonna go body slam Andre. I'll see you guys later."
Yeah,
and he got humiliated.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, humiliated.
100%.
Yeah.
This is from Woodstock.
This was sick.
Oh yeah,
Primus doing Master
Primus
of Puppets.
doing Master of Puppets. Yeah. Let's see. Hang on a second.
I like their covers.
I like Winona's Big Brown Beaver. Primus rules.
Yeah, he's great. I'm not even a big fan of the band, but I love watching him play. Yeah, he's
awesome.
very entertaining, Les Claypool.
Yeah, he is.
He seems like a strange bird.
Yeah, but real good. at music.
He's playing all the guitar parts on the bass.
I know.
It's insane.
Oh, he doesn't sing it?
No.
Oh.
That makes sense. I mean, it's tough to...
He did a version of Electric Funeral, which I thought, we'd have to hear it, but I mean, he did Electric Funeral at Bonnaroo years ago. I love his covers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Soraya, how's your life? How's everything going? Soraya, you may remember, was our intern for a long time. She was one of the top 3, I would say, interns all time.
I can't think of anyone better.
Some people place her number 1.
Yeah.
That's very sweet. Things have been very well.
And you remember, too, just to bring everybody up to speed,
yes.
one time she went on a road trip with Jim and she stepped in dog shit.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's...
Just to bring everyone up to speed.
Yeah, she old
you did
duty
that, right?
shoes, yeah.
That was me. That was my foot.
Beginning of the trip, you had on your shoe excrement.
Yeah.
Just want to bring everybody up to speed.
But we did go to Austin.
That's right.
Austin. Oh, you got to go. So you got to see the comedy mothership.
Yes, this was my first plane in a while. And what happened was the night since 2013, when I was 13, and I hadn't been on a plane in a while, so I had to pack my bag with all the camera equipment. But I realized that I didn't want the camera equipment to be a checked bag.
Smart.
I want it to be a carry-on.
You never check your gear.
Right, and have a personal item. Well, what ended up happening is that I only took one suitcase, and it was all camera equipment, but I didn't have any room for clothes. So I just wore whatever I wore for the 5 days.
And I told Sheree, you have to do it differently than that. Like, there's got to be a better way.
You just had one outfit for 5 days?
Because I could not fit in the suitcase.
Sheree, that's gross.
I had to, I wanted to value the image, the picture quality.
Yeah, but you're devaluing Jim by walking around stinking.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Austin's a very hot, sweaty place.
It sure is.
And then we didn't think about... Because I only put it in a suitcase, then when we had to go places, Jim, you had to carry the suitcase up many stairs.
Well,
That was okay,
I mean, yeah. Why didn't you just check a bag with your clothes?
Again, I have not flown since 2013.
Gotcha, okay. And what was in the personal item?
Oh, that was my laptop bag.
You couldn't pack that with the camera? I mean, how much camera equipment are we talking?
Well, I like to have Well, then I was talking to Cheyenne.
Hot dog.
And hot dog. And he was saying that I don't know his system. He's saying he's bringing a backpack with you. What is he doing?
I mean, depends. It really depends on the gig. Sometimes he likes to bring his whole lights and everything because he goes a little nuts. If he's bringing his lights, he's going to check a bag because you can't get those in a carry-on anyway.
Right.
But yeah, I mean.
Does he wear the same shirt and pants?
No, he'll pack clothes appropriate, an amount of clothes appropriate to the number of days that we'll be traveling.
Well, I packed it so tightly that then when I went to the TSA line,
right,
which I didn't have pre-check at this time.
Oh, and the TSA line, especially for equipment, is terrible because you never know. Like, I've had a lot of problems with microphones always set stuff off. Batteries a lot of times set stuff off. The wires,
your bag
the cables.
gets shot down the other side. They got to check it. Yep.
That's what happened to me. And because it was so tight, so they started to take everything out of it and re-put it into all new bins. And then once I got it all back, I couldn't close it. It wouldn't close. And I was sitting on it and pushing it. And I had to put my...
In the middle of the airport?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I had to put my headphones, my Denny phones on. And I was carrying all my hard drives in my hand. And then I looked at my ticket. I was at gate 1.
Sure.
It was JFK, a Delta flight. You couldn't have been further. It's like an 8-mile walk.
Gate 53.
Yeah, that's like when you look up at the sign and it's legit 12-minute walk.
You got to take a flight through the flight. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I just thought Sam would... I just had this feeling that Sam would love it if I missed this flight.
I mean, I'd be overjoyed. You understand? It would hit the group text quickly because you would probably text Hot Dog going, "What should we do?" Hot Dog would hit the group text going, "OMG, guys, Soraya just missed her flight." We'd be losing our minds and enjoy. It'd be great.
Yeah, I just pushed the suitcase in front of me and then run after it and then push it and then run after it. And then I made it after a lot of sweat.
You must, and you only had the one set of clothing that you had already sweated in before you even got to Austin.
Well, that's true, but I did wash it in the sink with some soap.
You wash your clothes in the sink?
Yeah, I didn't know any of this was going on.
I would expect not.
Yeah, of course
Things
not.
are a little crazy at my room.
Well, why wouldn't you just go to a Walmart And buy some clothes when you got there. Right.
Oh. Well.
I didn't even notice. It was the same clothes.
Well, that's not surprising either.
I didn't
you
notice
wouldn't.
Well,
No.
Jim, you always wear a black shirt. So
I do.
feel,
Honestly, yeah. So I get it. Like, I don't.
You also have kind of a one-track. You have an odd focus about you.
Sometimes,
where you will
yeah.
miss details because you're so tuned into other details.
But
right?
I don't want it to be uncomfortable either. Like,
No,
you
no,
should
no,
You should have your proper.
I also
clothing.
believe that if you had noticed that she was wearing the same thing over and over again, you would have driven her to a Walmart and just bought her clothes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I made a mistake, but it was a very fun trip and experience. I enjoyed the flight there and back.
How many times did you wash her clothes in the sink?
Just a few times.
What's a few? 5? You were there for 5 days?
Well, I did it once.
No. 3 days.
3 days.
3 days, yeah. Sorry. No, well, you had 3 shows, but we were there for
I
longer.
did kill Tony after. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah,
5.
yeah.
So 5.
Yeah.
5 days.
I did it once. It wasn't the most hygienic trip.
What did the
I
water
think-
look like as you were washing your clothes in the sink?
The water was, it was clear.
Was it?
Yes. What do you think? I have
believe that.
dirt on me?
Yeah, I do.
No, I'm very clean.
No, I mean, I know you are a clean person.
I wash myself.
I'm sure that you do, but just by living life. Like, if I wore this, I'm a clean person too.
Yes.
If I wore this t-shirt every day for 5 days, you know, at day 3, I washed it in the sink, the water would probably start getting a little gray, a little
Sure.
Do you
thick.
shower every day?
I do, sometimes twice a day.
Really?
Sure. But
I
if
shower every day. Yeah, but not twice a day.
Yeah, but if I put a shirt back on that I sweated in, well, regardless of if I've taken a shower or not, it will retain the dirt.
You have
Right.
to shower every day because,
Of course.
like, even if you don't recognize that you're sweaty, a lot of times, like, I walked home last night from the cellar,
Right.
and I just felt like that, like, little sheen on me.
Yep.
And then when that dries and you forget that it's there, it stinks.
Right.
So I made myself shower before bed. Like, it's just, yeah, you have to.
Do you shower every day or not?
No.
No.
I
Okay.
guess I just have a different way.
Yeah, you know.
No, I don't want to say now.
No, go ahead.
How
I might, Jim and I might be a
Well,
little
do our
obsessive.
friends here shower every day?
No, Mike, you shower what? Once a
Probably
week?
from the gym.
No, yeah, once a month. No, of course it's all right. Yeah, especially in the summertime, you got it every day because summertime you smell like shit.
Oh, do I?
I did.
Not you. He means the collective you.
Yeah.
Right,
Not
right,
you,
right.
Soraya.
Right, we haven't
the
smelled
collective you.
But I was under the assumption that, like,
What?
showering every day was very much the standard,
In the summer, it's 2 or 3 times a day.
especially in the city, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Especially if you defecate.
Sure. Well, I have bidets.
In the shower, yeah, sure.
Well,
Just
yeah.
mash it down with your feet.
That's it. I have bidets installed in all the toilets in the house. So
Sure.
that
For those of us who aren't so lucky to have bidets, it's important to shower every day,
it's
if
quite a
only
luxury.
to clean out your asshole.
sure.
Yeah.
Do
no,
you-
because when at least in Morocco when we used to live there, you have like a hammam, so you scrub. You don't have a shower at home.
do you scrub? I mean, but
Yeah,
you
you
now
take
you
a-
do have a shower.
You take
at
a
home.
kiss.
Like a Hershey kiss?
No, it's like a mitt, and you scrub your skin.
like a loofah?
That's not
Yeah.
You
effective.
don't have a shower? Did you go out with like a bucket and water?
In Morocco?
Yeah.
No, it's like you pay to go to the shower.
But
It's a group
now,
shower.
now,
Yeah.
A group shower.
Yeah.
So there's multiple people in there at once?
Yeah,
Nice.
everyone's in there.
Naked?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Is it
That's
Yeah.
like Woodstock.
Yeah.
No, it's like you go you put your clothes in a locker, then you go in. It's like a steam room, and you can pay to have like someone scrub you.
I would do that.
Is it male and female?
No. There's
Ah.
2 separate entries.
Can you get a scrubber who's a different gender? Like, can I get a
No.
lady scrubber?
No, you'd
Oh.
only be able to have a man scrubber.
That's a bummer. I probably,
What if you
I probably
identify-
would shower a lot less.
What if you identify as a they them? Then what do you
Yeah, yeah, and then you go to Morocco. You say, "What is a woman?"
I don't think Morocco plays that shit.
But once you got to the States and there was indoor,
You're gonna go in this room, or we throw you off that roof. All
no.
right.
I'll pick this one.
well,
I guess I just do it a little different.
yeah, no, and I think that that's fine. But like, what are we talking in terms of?
Do it a little different.
Yeah, how often?
I don't know, like maybe 2 or 3 times a week.
That's fine. Twice a week.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's not fine
Well,
now.
it's not.
Every
but-
should be every day.
It should be.
It should be
it's not.
every
It should be
Right.
7 times a week. 6 times a week would be like, okay, you
Well,
know,
I take
I
a
had
day
a-
off once in a while.
I had a lazy Saturday,
Sure.
right? Didn't leave the house much. Oh, I guess I didn't shower today. Better make sure to scrub extra hard tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
Otherwise, the children will wonder why their father smells.
Yeah, because I've had that where I didn't even notice I smelled. Like sometimes I didn't.
Will you be alerted?
Have I been alerted? No, but I'll catch it. Like I'll be walking around all day, and like I'll have walked the night. I'm like, holy fuck! I'm
or like
oh my
you smell
God.
your clothes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've had that a few times where I smell my pits or whatever. I'm like, oh my God.
Better jump in now.
Because I didn't notice it because it's just on me.
Right.
So you don't notice it. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I get a moment of clarity.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like if you're dancing and you think everybody's clapping along and then all of a sudden like in Sopranos, when Gandolfini sees them all laughing at his joke and he just knows, it's because I'm the boss.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yes.
That's how it is
Great
when you
scene.
smell bad. When you're fine walking around all day and all of a sudden you get a moment, you go, oh no.
Right.
I have a sheen of stink.
Yeah, I have a stench.
Yeah. Every day.
Yeah, I mean, you could wash your hair 2 to 3 times a week. How often do you wash your hair?
Does that mean the water coming on it?
That's
Yes.
not what that means. That's a rinse.
Oh, I mean,
that's a simple rinse. When washing hair, we use shampoo and if we're really feeling it, conditioner.
Even I use shampoo every day, and I have
it's
no
good
hair.
for your scalp.
It's good for the scalp. It's just healthier to do. Yeah.
So, no, not as much of a rinse, but more of a washing.
Thank you, Shrek.
More of a washing of the hair. How often do we wash our hair? And by the way, I've never noticed you smelling.
No, we're not asking. I'm asking because you volunteered this information.
And I'm surprised.
And I wish I didn't.
That's who cares? I'm around Soraya more than anybody, and
you would notice. You're sensitive to that.
I probably would.
Yeah.
And you
would've
would
come
tell
in here.
me.
He was the first person that told us one of our old coworkers had a breath problem.
I have a nose. It's
Remember?
so good.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
And once it's pointed out, it's like, oh, Jim was right.
Darn it, he's right again.
Yeah.
Nailed it again, Jim. But we've taken photos after every show. I've never noticed you stinking. I'll smell today
Okay.
to check. But
I also wash my
Oh no.
yeah, I was like, this is.
Oh no.
No, I was gonna say that I wash my do ablutions.
What's ablutions?
5 times a day.
What's in a?
Is that religious?
Yeah, like to do
like prayers. Prayers.
But,
Okay.
but you wash what? Your face, your
You
hands.
wash your hands, then you sniff your nose, and you wash your mouth and your face and head and your neck and your feet.
The shower's just faster.
Well, that's good. Yeah, you could knock all that out in the shower.
I'm gonna have no time to do anything.
No, that's true. If you're washing your feet 5 times a day for ablution.
A daily shower is very important, I think, and it's also I think a lot in the shower too. I get a lot of thinking done.
Sure,
When
shower
I stand there
thoughts.
under the hot water.
They say shower thoughts.
Yeah, because it's very relaxing to have the warm water pouring over you, and then I really relax there, and my mind, because there's nothing outside to distract me. A lot of times I have the lights very low,
Nice.
and it's just like therapeutic. You just stand there for a few minutes and think. I love thinking in the shower.
You know what's not? Sometimes a cold shower can be refreshing. Not for like long periods of time, obviously, but it can just be a nice little shock to the system, especially in the summer.
Well, I was talking to Mike Montone, and I did say that next time that he does the polar plunge, I would like to accompany him.
Right. Well, they don't want you contaminating the water.
Hey!
She just wants to see Montone in beachwear.
Oh, nice.
His stud arms.
You see a trail of grease. The water's turning rainbow behind Soraya.
Don't
She's
say
swimming.
that.
No, I'm just kidding.
But,
You wash your feet. It's
I
good.
want to tell you something else about my computer.
Oh, yes, because now you've gotten, I'm sure, much
good
more
Mac, yeah.
much more tech savvy.
Well-
You've been doing you're working with a lot of footage for comedian Jim Norton.
And she's learning editing. It's crazy how fast. Because Soraya is one of those people. She reads the manual. Like, what are you doing?
Well, that's why they are packaged in a box.
100%. But learns things. It's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And if you remember what happened last time, I accidentally deleted the USB driver.
Yeah, we had a guy calling the show for like 2 weeks after that. One of the worst,
right.
worst callers.
I
of
love
all
that
time.
guy. Hope he's
Aw,
listening.
That's very
Relentless.
helpful.
Just a
He just
lunatic.
wouldn't let go.
Yeah.
But he was trying to be helpful.
Well, what happened was I still could not get it to work.
Mm.
So of course, after I did my ablutions, I did pray and say, "Please, God, reinstall the driver." And
Did he?
it was unable to happen. So I turned off the computer. I pressed the power button,
Sure.
and then I turned it on again, and then it was fine.
Okay.
It worked?
Yeah.
Wow.
The
turn it off
classic.
and on.
But you see why I didn't want to turn it off and on. Because I
Not
was worried.
really.
I was worried it would lock me out of my password.
God answers prayers.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
that
but
could've been
and God is oddly
God.
selective. I mean, during World War II, in concentration camps, there was a lot of prayers being thrown up that were ignored. But then Soraya pops in and goes, "This damn driver," and God's like, "I'm on it."
Yeah. Well. Yeah, who
Very
knew
strange
that
priorities.
that is as powerful and all knowing as God is, that he would take the time out of his day to say, "Did you try to plug and unplug? Have you turned it on and off?" Oh no, I haven't. Thank you, Lord.
Well, all my files are back in order.
Woo!
And, well, speaking of Hot Dog, that he did text me that he found my blazer as well that I did leave at the house party for
a jacket?
4th of July. My reporting blazer.
Oh, I didn't know that was missing.
Yeah, I left it at the party.
Which party?
The house party that he took me to.
Oh, when you learned how to go to a house party.
Yes.
I remember
this
that.
was about drinking for St. Patrick's Day.
That's right. I remember that. Yes.
And I interviewed people about during St. Patrick's Day, which was on my computer, the audio, and we asked who is hotter, Jim or Sam?
Oh, that's it.
God, I'm almost embarrassed for you.
I mean, I would
Sam,
imagine. I would imagine there was a lot of revulsion in general.
I know, really.
What do you?
That's a tough question.
What are you asking?
Would you rather eat dog shit or vomit?
Well, I guess consistency-wise.
Well, you'll be happy to know that, Sam, they did say that you were a DILF.
DIL. Oh, nice.
Oh, douche, I'd like to forget.
Okay, I don't know. That was very quick. You got all the letters very quickly.
And this was with your old hair.
Really?
Yeah, it was the old picture.
Oh, where was this house party? At 145th Street?
Yeah. No, is it a school for the blind? Wow. Well, that's
very hurtful.
No, I get that.
I'm very hurt.
Makes sense.
We're all beautiful in our own way.
That's
true.
That's
kind.
True. That's true.
Very hurtful information.
Yeah. Wish I hadn't brought that up, quite frankly. Well, that's good. And
how's the dating? I literally, whenever
that's
I talk.
right. Last time we talked to you, you had been on the dating
Yes.
apps. And you went on one date.
Yeah.
And I guess I didn't realize, because you said you ruined your first love, because you said you were potentially in love.
Yeah.
But you ruined it because you slept in and then you hadn't showered, you said. Except that's very typical for you.
No.
I didn't realize how normal that was.
I learned more about Soraya on the radio show than I do from knowing her in real life.
Right. Well, I guess conversations like this, although on a road trip, I would probably just sit there asking Soraya questions about her life.
I guess you could do that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I do for hot dogs. Sometimes I'll just go, what's your take on this? And then I will, like when we drove to Detroit, like I'll just argue with hot dog for sport, just to pass the time.
Sure.
Right. But yeah, so you ruined your first love, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unless romance resparked there? Was it rekindled at all, or?
No, I kind of messed that up. And I also felt bad because I have a huge rule to myself of never lie. And I lied. I felt bad about that.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But that's okay.
Everybody's fine for one mulligan, though.
Sure.
Yeah.
You panicked. In the moment, you panicked.
Yeah, I panicked and I did have a bit of a freak out, but that's okay.
And you just told us how seldom you shower, so I feel like that truth has made up for any lie.
Yeah,
You're very
absolutely.
honest here.
I think it's important to be vulnerable.
I think that's good.
Well, actually, now I'm just keeping to myself and my studies.
What studies?
Okay, I'm just keeping it myself. But I was going to attend an event that was held by... It was a matchmaking event, but then I decided not to go.
Like a speed dating thing?
Yeah.
Nice.
But it was for like an arranged marriage.
Okay, well, no, I don't think it's time to do an arranged marriage.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Well, I just feel like you should probably experience the joys of freedom, finding partners. You know, heartache is part of the game. It makes you a better person. It's terrible at the time, but honestly, like, it's the best thing that can happen to you sometimes. You get over it, you move on to the next person. It's a fun game once you get into it. You know what I mean? Once you really start playing it.
Plus, an arranged marriage, like all of a sudden you're with somebody who you might not like. What if you don't like their smell? Or what if you don't like their facial hair? What if you don't, whatever it is, what if you don't like that person and then you're just stuck with them and you're like, oh God, this is my life.
What if you don't end up with a hot DILF like some of the people
like Sam
that you
Rara,
know?
yeah. I mean, obviously Sam's wife got extremely lucky.
Yeah, she really, things panned out for her very well.
I guess that's the risk you take.
Yeah, it's a gamble.
Because you never know either way. You just have to learn to grow old with someone. I'm sure
No, but you get to know a person. You at least, I mean, it's far more to say that dating somebody for a considerable amount of time and then deciding to marry them is just as risky as an arranged marriage. I think is a gross overstatement.
Yeah, they're different things.
Oh, you think love has to be involved?
It should. I think it's helpful when it is.
But it's a religious thing, though, right?
Well, I just think it's more formal this way.
And you like formalities.
Yeah, but I decided not to go.
Good for you.
Because I wasn't sure, and I never would want to waste anybody's time.
Yeah, do you think you're ready for marriage?
I don't know. I think I might be a little young.
Yeah.
And I'm not really sure how to cook.
Oof. You can't be in an arranged marriage and not know how to cook.
Who does the arranging?
That's a great question.
Yeah, that's a great question. Who does that?
I think it's your parents. Like the
parents meet another set of parents.
And they go, okay, get together. But if you're going to an event that's an arranged marriage, what does that entail?
Well, my dad is overseas, so he's not available.
Okay, so who does the arranging?
He actually works in the hammam.
Okay.
In the shower.
Is he a scrubber?
No, he's the cashier.
Oh. Okay. That's right. It's a better gig, by the way, than the scrubber.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how much dirt is on a person.
Right. And also, like...
You have to get under the sack.
If I came in here and I was
I don't know if they're that...
Well, they have to be. It's a shower.
I mean, it's your job.
Yeah, exactly.
Have a little pride. You don't want to know that your dad has scrubbed me down, for example. It changes the dynamic.
Specifically you.
Right?
Not at
right?
all.
You don't want to know that.
You eat a lot of greasy food. It's probably a mess back there.
Oh,
and
it's
especially
awful.
if I know I'm paying for someone else to do it.
You're like, get in there good.
It's like when you know I'm getting a haircut in a week, you're not touching yourself. Like the barber's gonna fix up my beard and everything. Same thing. If you're getting a scrub down in a week,
yeah,
you stop wiping like 3 days before.
Absolutely.
One sheet done.
Yeah, it was so nice to see your father's mustache.
Yeah, and
Very
you got
thick.
to see it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a very good, healthy. Mr. Roberts has a great energy.
he does. People loved him. I
Very
was
fun energy.
very happy with his reception. His performance was very good too. He just jumped right in.
Sure he did.
Yeah, he was
He's
great.
comfortable.
He was great. Who arranges?
Well, maybe arranged is the wrong word, but not involving dating.
But it was like a speed dating thing. But it's like, hey, we're a bunch of dudes showing up to meet wives, and
Yeah, you put in your information and they'll match it up for you.
oh, but it's not dating. Like to be like, this is the person you're probably gonna marry.
Yeah.
You meet the person and then do you talk to them or is it like, oh, this is the one you're marrying?
No, you talk to them for a bit.
And do you get to decide, like, I don't like this one?
Yeah, you can decide.
Oh, okay.
But still, the expectation is so high to be like,
Sure.
well, it's if you say if I don't like them upon first meeting,
Yeah.
we don't have to do anything. But if I do like them upon first meeting, the expectation is we're getting married is a huge leap.
Oh, okay.
You see?
And everyone bullshits at first. Like
That's right.
whenever you meet somebody, even if it's not a lie, it's the lie of great behavior.
Right.
It's the lie of, oh yes, I would love to. Oh my God, that's interesting.
You act as your own representative.
Yes, you're kind of your own agent.
Yes.
And then after a while, you walk out, you messy. Like we become more ourselves in time, and that's when you know who you're getting. After a while, it's
What if
just
they
normal.
stink up the bathroom? You would never know that upon first meeting.
Absolutely, and I'd never have a partner if that was a problem. 'Cause I'm a disaster area creator.
That's right. That's right. If it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother you. But if it does,
And you saw how weird that first one went. Can you imagine if you were?
Yeah.
Imagine if that was a marriage, and it was just one of those things where you were stuck with that person, or you'd be like, "What the fuck are we doing?"
yeah.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, you want to get out, and meet some nice people, get your best options, find a guy who has a good job, maybe.
I won't submit the Google form.
Don't submit
No,
the
I
Google form.
wouldn't.
Okay.
And when you date different people, you learn different things. So when you finally settle down with somebody, you've learned something from this person, something
And
from
tricks,
this person.
right?
Yeah, and how to deal with situations.
Tricks?
Yeah.
What tricks?
Tricks in just handling a relationship.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I meant
Sure.
physical tricks.
Oh, well,
You know what I'm saying too, right?
What, like flipping tricks?
Yeah, like you don't have to sleep with people.
And
You
by the
can
way,
just-
if that's the case, Troy is one of the great experts of our time because, Soraya, I have got to tell you that before he was in the relationship that he was in,
Yeah.
what a history he had.
yeah.
What a history. Am I right?
No, you're right.
He was known as quite the coxman.
Oh, nice.
Yes. He had
I'll have to consult you.
yes, he had a very, very significant dating history
Yes,
and
he did.
a line of ladies behind him.
Cavalcade.
Yeah, it was. It was. He was once described as having a harem.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true, right?
That sounds very like a very exciting lifestyle.
It was.
But
It
how,
was.
you're 23?
I am 23.
The person I am now is completely different than the person I was at 23. So I couldn't imagine being with the person
Not good at 23.
Sure.
at 23.
Not good at
So
23.
you should-
Okay.
I would probably recommend, look, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but date a couple people, learn how to have a relationship with this person. This doesn't work out, have a relationship with a different person.
Or
Yeah.
at least take advantage of your youth and go, like, even if it's working out, you can stay in a relationship for a long time before you have to get married. Me and my wife now dated for years before we were married because we were in our 20s. Like, there's no reason to rush into anything.
It's like, you know how you learned when we went on the trip, how this is how I'm going to pack from now on. You
Yeah.
learned it because you screwed it up, and okay, I'll do it this way is better.
And the fact
Imagine
that,
that was a spouse,
Oh.
and that was your first thing. And now imagine if now you had to travel that way every time. If you were able to decide your travel on one option, and from now on that's how you had to travel, you'd be like, why the fuck did I?
I mean, you don't even know the basics. Imagine, like, years into traveling, you showed up somewhere and go, the only thing I hate about traveling is no matter how long you go, you just have the one outfit.
Yeah, you have to wash it in the sink.
People will be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
It would be bad, but you've learned, like Troy said, you've learned from your experience, other people who travel a lot of times will bring multiple sets of clothes.
Right.
Correct.
That will take them through the week.
And move
Yeah.
the drawstring on your pants to the side. Don't put your glasses in the front of your shirt.
Little things you learn.
Yes.
Right.
You have the
Right.
passport ready.
Why the drawstring on the side?
I don't know. I had the drawstring in my pants in the front.
You wearing sweatpants?
I was wearing like kind of, yeah. And then they said it needs to be moved to the side. It affects the scan.
I don't know. We got TSA pre-check, so
Yeah,
I go through a metal detector.
You got pre-checked now.
Yes.
Good. Did you get clear?
Yeah, I'm gonna get that as well.
It's the
Yeah,
best.
all airports don't have that.
No,
Yeah,
some do.
some.
Yeah.
At least they didn't pat me down because I had a lot of cables and wires. It could look suspicious.
Yeah, on sometimes, but I got
I've had
stopped
that.
recently with my apnea machine.
Yeah, I've had that when I because I always travel with like audio stuff and video stuff.
They always
and
say look at
they
it.
always look at, and it's
They
annoying
patted
because
you
you do. Sometimes I get patted down, but then I go like, oh, this is one of those people at hot dogs party. I think they're just doing this because
Sure.
they saw a DILF walking through. yeah, no, but it's I've been there where it's a huge pain where like you've packed everything perfectly. And then they're like, no, we got to see what this wire's plugged into. And you're like, oh my God, this is
It's
gonna
very
be
annoying.
This is going to be such a thing now.
Or when you have a suitcase that closes and they have to open it, and you're worried the equipment's gonna fall out because it's open on the one side and there's only one cup. It's like, just please open it carefully. I had that recently. It's a fucking nightmare.
Why don't you look into like the dating field of the people who do similar things that you do professionally? Like Homeless Pimp has all these soldiers now, the video comedians. You could talk to these other dudes who like video other comedians and you have something in common.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to think about that.
Yeah, then you and your new partner could just complain about the people you're filming. Is he still doing the same shit? Yes, the same fucking shit every night. I hate it.
You know that's what it would
Of
devolve
course,
to
it would devolve into
instantly.
that immediately.
Yeah,
You guys always have good advice for me. You guys feel like my brothers.
that's right.
Soraya's so nice, though, she probably would say it politely. He doesn't seem to change ideas often.
Yeah. I've learned that a comedian will use the same joke for a very long
Yes,
time.
even if it's not getting the response he wants.
Oh, and I have something else to tell you. Oh, if you have time.
We have
do.
all the
Yeah.
time in the world.
Well, also for Trauma, the horror movie.
Trauma.
Did I tell you about? What did I tell you again? That I had the one part
That's
in the
right.
bar,
It was messy, yeah.
Yes.
and then I had the other role.
I don't remember if you told us you had a second role.
Well,
Did
there's
you?
a secret second role, and I can play you audio from it if you would like.
Sure.
I would love that.
I guess I can just play it on my phone.
Sure, just put your phone up to the mic. I think that would be fine. Is there any sort of setup, or you just want us to hear the
Is it
audio and then
self-explanatory?
we'll ask questions?
I I guess you could hear the audio and then ask questions. But maybe if you could just decide what you think is happening to me.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Let's see if we can
And
hear.
it's trauma.
Wait, did we do this already or no?
Did you hear this before?
I don't know. It's familiar.
I think she talked about doing trauma on the show, but I don't think we played audio.
And I don't think we heard about a second roll.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the first time was when I was in the bar.
Right. I remember it.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that you?
Okay, what do you think happened?
Is that you screaming?
That isn't me.
That's
You have a
hell
great,
of a scream.
It's a great horror
It's a
movie
great horror.
scream.
What happened? I think you were at that dating thing, and hot dog's picture came up.
It's a pretty good guess. What was happening there?
Well, you'll have to see.
Oh,
That's a good tease.
Yeah.
Let's just say it involved a lot of blood. And I didn't know if I would be able to scream because, well, on the day of the shoot, I didn't know I was going to do that.
Sure.
And they said, okay, everyone be silent. Just you scream. And I was like, I don't really scream. So, but I just did it from the gut. I had a trick.
What was the trick?
I was wearing something kind of tight around my neck.
Mm.
So I pushed into it and then hold your breath so your face gets really red and then scream from your, not like, from your head,
Right.
but scream from your stomach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I would imagine with your level of commitment to everything else that you do, it's probably a very scary thing to see.
I think it might have scared them because I was very quiet up until that point.
Sure.
And then I couldn't hear the director say cut, so I just kept going. And then,
What happened? We're all at lunch. She's still screaming in the other room.
and then he was like, cut. And I was like, oh, sorry. I didn't know if you wanted me to stop. I couldn't hear.
Yeah.
And also, I don't want to say, but my eyes were somehow covered, so I couldn't see either.
Oh, boy.
Can we hear that again now that we know what that is?
Oh, yes, of course. I feel like I got out maybe some anger that I didn't know that I had.
There you go.
All right, I'll play
You
it
got
again.
something out. I watch a lot
I
of
said
horror
that to
movies.
Travis.
That's a great scream.
Yeah, I watch a lot of horror movies. That ranks up there.
Yeah, and believe me, Travis has heard that from a woman before.
I said, Travis, look what came out.
Is there a video or is it
That's
only
what his
audio?
mom said.
There's some video, but you can't really. It's not really discernible as to what happened.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's going to come out in October, and that's with Ian Fidance and Zach Amico as well.
Ah,
Ian
that's
Finance
nice.
is in the film?
Yes.
That's exciting. You can't talk about what the name of the film is?
Bring on the Damned, Volume 1.
I love that they prep for sequels immediately.
Sure they do. Volume 1, they already know.
Like The Return to Class of Nukem High, the sequel, part 1. I don't remember what it was, but it was great. Very wordy.
Yeah. Long title.
But just wanted to share that with you.
Yeah, it was great. That's a good scream.
Thank you.
Bring on the Damned Volume 1 official Kickstarter campaign. I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to watch.
No, I'll go.
And I'm such a fan of Trauma anyway.
I'd like to go to the premiere of that.
The premiere?
Is there going to be a premiere?
I don't know. Maybe.
We can put one on.
Sure. Let's see where you're listed here.
And then I couldn't talk for a day
Oh,
after.
it hurt your throat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that before. It hurts.
Ian Fidance has top billing under Lloyd Kaufman. This is big for Ian Fidance.
I think it
Although
just
I
says
don't know if
bar
I-
patron.
I don't know if I could watch a movie where Ian
There
Fidance
I
is in
am.
like the whole movie. Look at that.
Yeah, I couldn't watch.
It's a lot of Ian.
It's a lot of Ian. Although I do enjoy
I like
Ian.
Ian.
I like it says Soraya actress.
Well,
So
that's
it's-
what you were doing, right?
This is my debut. I think after this, though, I think it's over.
why?
You don't want to act more?
No, I think I just needed to get that scream out. I'm not really sure what that was about, but I think I need to get that out.
Were you mad when you did it?
I did try to think of everything that upsets me.
What was one thing you thought about?
That upsets you.
Just things from the past. And just let it out. So it felt good, but then, yeah, it felt good, but then I couldn't really speak after, but it was worth it.
So yeah, you got to leave it on the page.
Do you scream?
Do I scream? No, not
Ever?
traditionally. No,
Oh.
I can't think about the last time that I screamed. I don't know what would make me scream, just emote like that. I mean, I might raise my voice to, give an air of seriousness, but
Like what?
I can't imagine screaming. Hey, you get your damn hands off of her. Something serious.
Yeah. Ooh, man.
Yeah.
Very scary.
Right, exactly. When I want to convey that I mean business.
Yeah, real alpha.
Right, exactly.
Very alpha.
Yeah.
Should we take a break?
God, it's 9:25.
I see you standing,
Yeah. I do have to tinkle a little bit. Yeah, I didn't know it was that late.
Well, Saray is hanging out. We got we got a guest coming in later. We got a lot to do today.
Yes.
Actually, later on, maybe right around 11, over on the Not Sam Wrestling YouTube channel, Ian Lara wanted to have a conversation about wrestling. So, special comedians edition of Not Sam Wrestling, where me and Ian are sitting down talking about the good old days, will be up on the Not Sam Wrestling YouTube channel later this morning.
And September 28th, I'm heading to Toronto to do one show for Just for Laughs. Very much looking forward to that.
Oh, one and done, baby.
One and done.
In and out.
I have more dates being added soon.
We'll be right back. Stay there.
Jim and Sam will be back. Jim and Sam will be back. Jim and Sam will be back. Jim and Sam will be back after this.
How do you do this radio show?
We aren't even sure how people listen to it. Anyway, Jim and Sam are back.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Welcome back. Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
You know what make this sound better?
What's that?
Hulk Hogan on bass.
I was just thinking that. Troy, are you excited? Are you going to go back to the movie theaters soon?
What's playing?
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I'll go see that.
What's she doing?
Setting records. I mean, she was just like, I need to set some more records. So AMC announced that they were going to bring the Eras Tour to movie theaters. They're going to do a concert film of the Eras Tour, but they're going to run it in all the AMCs. And they put tickets up, and they're going to do like $100 million. Theater owners predict record $100 million opening for the Eras Tour concert pick. So, yeah, it'll be one of those, like, I don't know if it's going to have a full theatrical run, but at this point, I wouldn't be surprised. Why not just leave it in, right?
She could do whatever she wants.
Exactly.
All the Swifties together singing along. I'm there.
All you Swifties.
That's right.
That's right.
You're going to go to it?
Yeah, I think so. I'll go.
I mean, dude, they're doing exclusive popcorn buckets.
Oh.
I don't know if you saw that, but yeah. Because, I mean, Taylor Swift makes a mint off merch at these shows. So I'm sure the movie theaters are like, how do we get in on this? And then I saw they're doing like Taylor Swift Eras Tour popcorn buckets and souvenir cups and everything. It's a whole thing.
Think people will save them?
Forever. See, look at those.
Look at that. That is cool.
Would you love to? That is cool, Troy said. Only in theaters. Okay, it says starting October 13th, which leads me to believe that the Eras Tour concert film will probably stick around for you know what? Here's what they're going to do. They're going to run it through October. They're going to take it out of theaters. They're going to bring it back for the holiday season.
Ooh. What if it just stays from now to the holiday?
Oh, if they just left it in all October, they were like, let's run it until Thanksgiving, and then it was still hot, so they said, let's keep it going into the new year.
I could see that happening.
Or they pull it. Yeah, I think they pull it.
I feel like they pull it to create scarcity, and then you get, hey guys, good. I mean, it's like old school movie theater marketing. Good news, everybody! One last chance to see the Taylor Swift Eras Tour the way it was meant to be seen. In the movie theater. $100 million in his first weekend.
She's just
You know how many movie
incredible.
studios are trying to figure out?
Yep.
They can even make that in superhero movies half the time anymore.
She's popular.
I mean, that's a really kind of a dangerous take. So I don't know if you want to put that on the record like that, but
yeah, and they should have if they're smart, they should have a holiday bucket and holiday cup.
That's
to
the
get
move.
people to come back.
You bring the movie back, except this time there's a new bucket and cup.
New cup, new merch.
Yeah, and then it's like, so that way if the Troys of the world have a Taylor Swift bucket and cup in their kitchen, they're like, but there's a new one.
Right.
You can't have the old one. You got, there's a mini poster involved? Is there a mini poster element? Do you mean to tell me there's a mini poster element to this concert film? Free mini poster. Buy tickets to their Eras Tour concert film and take home a piece of music history. I love music history.
How much are tickets?
I would imagine just movie prices, right?
$17 or something.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Well, if you're getting stuff with it.
Oh, true.
Well, you get a mini poster. You don't get the bucket and the... You got to go and buy popcorn. It's just,
right.
It's just a mini poster. I can't imagine it's more than...
Let's see here.
Are they doing it in IMAX? Looks like it. Yeah, IMAX. Almost full. So you can get it.
Still get in.
You can still get in. Troy, you better not sleep on this, dude.
No, I'm not gonna. I will do it.
You will?
Yeah. Oh man, it's only like up front.
Yeah.
What shit seats are left?
Yeah.
Front row.
Garbage. I can't see where the ticket price is though.
Probably when you click on the front row. If you click on one of those seats, I bet it'll tell you. Jeez. A12?
Yeah, I don't know what's...
A12 down?
I'm not good at this.
Nah. I mean,
I'm going to give up.
That's a pretty wide-ranging statement that you just made.
I've said that while I was fucking.
Laser at AMC.
Do you know what that means?
No.
No.
Do you?
No. But I see that it says the word laser.
I mean, it must be maybe better quality screen.
I hope it's not worse. Imagine if they were like, it's like normal movies, but the quality's not nearly as good.
Check one of the ones that doesn't say almost full.
Okay, here we go.
There aren't any.
Here we go.
Yeah, there are. There's still very few seats.
See, and then what? Now what? So I click the seat. Now what?
Yeah.
What do you do? You've done this, Sam, right?
Check out.
Check out. Where do I go check out?
Oh my gosh, I'm looking right now on my phone because, I've given up on Troy.
Yeah, I understand.
And yeah, they are. Okay, yeah. Whoa, no, it is. At least this one, it's $28 for an adult ticket.
All right.
$30. All right, he says.
I mean, whatever. It's for Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's an IMAX. That's an IMAX. Okay, so that might actually be standard price. IMAX in the city, $30 might be how much it costs. So in standard, it costs... No, it's $30. It's $30 to go see this.
Well, you get your mini poster in the bucket.
No, you don't get the bucket.
The bucket's extra?
The bucket you have to buy you have to go buy popcorn.
All right, fine, I'll do that.
Still worth it.
Yeah, and the mini poster, you know how good that's going to look in my new apartment?
Well, it's a piece of music history.
It is.
And I wonder, you know what the move would be, dude?
What?
Buy tickets for you and your lady, but buy them separately.
Uh-huh.
See if you can get 2 mini posters out of the deal.
Great
right?
idea.
If
You probably get one ticket for each movie. You probably get a poster for each one.
I bet they're trying to do poster per order.
No, I think per ticket.
I doubt it.
Of course, because if two friends go together,
then they got to split the poster.
Yeah, no, I guarantee you, it's one poster per.
I mean, not everybody is as big a poster collector as you. You
yeah,
got to
but
keep that in mind.
Yeah, but the Swifties they're going to die for these posters.
Fuck
You think would you die for one of those posters?
I would. I mean, look how good it looks.
It looks so
That's great.
You know, what'd be great.
It's a mini poster.
If the poster of Taylor was her on stage like that, and for no reason at all, I was in it and just talking to her, with my arms out.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking the exact same thing.
Just how annoyed people would be.
Look at that. It says supplies are ample, but they will go fast. Wow. And then what's that? It says the price on the popcorn bucket.
Okay.
$15 for a large popcorn, $12 for a large cup. But you also, I mean, that's...
Oh, yeah. So
but that's kind of how much.
I feel like, that's regular
That's
price.
kind of how much a large drink and a large popcorn would be at the theater.
$12 for a drink? Is it
for
really
a large?
Wow.
Yeah, it's close.
Dude,
it might be like 8 or 9. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, for one person to go with popcorn, soda, maybe like a candy or something, plus the ticket, it's like $50.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm so glad I don't have kids. I have to haul them into a movie theater. Oh,
my dad. Well, you could have asked him yesterday. My dad used to make us pop popcorn before we left the house.
How'd you get it in?
We'd sneak in with little baggies full of popcorn. Everybody would have a little plastic baggie full of popcorn. Sneak a drink from home too.
But that's not enough popcorn.
Well, we were kids.
I mean, yeah, but a little baggie of popcorn.
You could bring a bigger baggie, I suppose. The principle would remain the same.
Wouldn't you guys want more popcorn? You see everybody eating out of the bucket?
No. Yeah, the only thing, when you have kids, you can also get them to share while they're young. It's
I guess so.
tougher to do that when they get older.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
When I brought my kids to the theater once, and it was fine. We just got one popcorn. Watched Mario. Everybody had time.
Did you like it?
I mean, both of them did.
Oh, both kids went?
Both went.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They had the time of their life.
How old are they?
4 and 6.
Oh, 4, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was very young when I saw The Champ.
Do you remember it?
Yeah.
Loved it?
I was literally maybe 5 or 6. I saw The Champ with Ricky Schroeder and Jack Warden and John Voight in the theater.
John Voight?
Yeah. I was embarrassed to cry because everybody was crying at the end.
You didn't want to? You didn't want to show that vulnerability?
Right, no. It was sad, though.
I'm sure.
Champ passes away.
Just 30 plus 15 for the popcorn is 45, plus 12 for the drink.
$60.
Yeah, $57. But it's once in a lifetime. And you get a free mini poster. I forgot about the free mini poster.
Well, her ticket is $30, so I wonder what piece of the ticket. It's obviously she's getting a percentage of the ticket, so they had to raise it. I wonder what she gets per ticket.
Good question. Doesn't have to be much because she can sell so many. You know what I mean? It's like you could do way more than a stadium full of people.
Does the concessions?
I mean, you know what's sick about this? It's not like it's not live. She just sits at. She's just sitting at home. Like this is just extra.
Yeah,
like
the show she's already done.
She already got paid for the performance.
Yeah,
she already got paid off the tickets to the performance.
Yep.
And now it's like, hey, remember that performance? We can make an extra. So okay, so let's say it brings in $100 million with her merch and everything. I mean, she's got to make. You think she can clear $60 million? Or am I over?
Nah, I don't think you get 60%.
With the merch included?
It depends on the merch. Like, for instance, if she's selling... No, she won't make $60 million. Because if you're selling... Let's say it makes $100 million.
Right.
The theater takes their money...
The theater doesn't make a lot of money off tickets. They make a lot of money off...
well, the concessions. That's probably... Maybe they had to give the theater the right to make a cup and everything.
Okay, so maybe she's not getting a ton of money on the merch. Right, so it wouldn't be 60 then. It would be more like...
She might just be getting a piece of the tickets.
But 30, it's easy, $30 million.
Yeah, she doesn't have to do anything.
Nothing.
Like, literally, it's already done. All
Nothing.
you have to do is just be Taylor.
Yeah.
And she funded this movie herself. So she didn't pay a studio to direct it.
So she's Taylor Swift because of that goddamn Scooter Braun is why.
Yep.
Fuck him, am I right?
Well, even if she did pay them, she would still own. She's at a point now; she'll never make a mistake again, business-wise. Like, she owns everything.
I'll tell you who she wouldn't go into: Soros family. She wouldn't let the Soros family touch this movie. You know
stay away from fucking Taylor.
That's right. You don't listen to the Soros versions of her albums. Do you?
I got really disappointed when I heard that.
That the Soros family owns a lot of her
with Scooter. Yeah,
with Scooter.
Now, Felipe in Texas, I had not heard this because I didn't know about this other thing.
What's up, Felipe?
Good evening.
Morning, guys.
Hey.
You were talking about studio scramming. Blumhouse, Jason Blum had to push The Exorcist a week earlier because of this.
Wow.
They didn't want to. But then again, you're really not competing with the same fans.
I mean,
the 17-year-old fucking teenage girl.
Yeah,
fan.
That's who goes to horror movies.
Maybe.
The concert to the Alamo Drafthouse too.
Say that again.
They're expanding the concert to the Alamo Drafthouse.
I was wondering if that was going to happen. Yeah, AMC got the deal, and then AMC sold everything, so they're like, okay, you can go to the Alamo Drafthouse as well.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. What's this new Exorcist movie? That's what made me want to.
Is it?
Yeah, it's going to be shit.
It's like a sequel, right?
Is it a sequel or a remake?
No, it's not a remake.
It's a sequel.
It's a sequel.
Oh, Believer. Oh, no.
The Exorcist Believer.
Can we
it
see
could be
a little
good.
trailer?
Thank you, Felipe.
Yeah, no, but it can't be.
The Nun 2 is coming out this week.
I
Remember
know.
The Nun?
Of course
She's
I do.
back.
I was already invited to go see The Nun, too.
Who were you invited by?
Somebody I live with who said, you want to go see it? It was like a Monday night. I'm like, no.
I hope she does her roach scream. You don't want to see The Nun 2?
I don't.
Oh.
I would, though. I mean, I don't mind a bad horror movie once in a while. There's always a scary moment.
Jump scare?
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to watch a little of this trailer?
Yeah.
The Exorcist, Now I'm a Believer.
Yeah. Okay. It's Linda Blair again. Doors creaking. Oh.
Oh, shit. She's eating the Bible.
Oh,
Don't be scared.
We've met before.
That's what's-her-face.
I know, Ellen Burstyn.
Yeah.
Boy, they must have paid her a lot.
I don't know. What else is she doing?
I guess so.
Are you looking for Reagan? Are you looking for Reagan?
Oh.
She burns in hell!
I'm scared, dude.
Oh. Yuck.
It's a sequel.
Oh, this is bad.
It's a
fucking
sequel.
hideous.
What do you think evil is?
Oh.
I'll tell you what I think it is.
Well, now what? Of course.
We're born in this world with hope and dreams and a desire to be happy.
Right.
Dad?
Oh, shit.
Something's going on with my daughter.
No! No!
It's happening to my daughter, too.
Oh, no.
Bunch
The
of
devil
kids.
has one wish.
Wherever those girls went, they brought something back with them.
To make us
Oh, I'm seeing this for sure. This looks fucking awesome.
Daughter's back.
To kill it in us. And the devil never gives up.
Oh, she's right.
Yeah, the devil is persistent. Hard worker.
Where's the other girl?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
Oh, how does she know?
What you're doing here is dangerous. People have died on both sides of possession.
Oh, no.
Why can't they do anything right these days?
What are you talking about? This is the trailer. They did this right.
If you don't make it, I don't make it.
Mama!
What is it, baby?
I can't get you.
Baby, I'm right here.
I
trick.
don't want to go to hell.
Oh, shit.
Do your homework, bitch.
Okay.
That trick on
Oh, my God.
It's a terrible voice.
There are 2 heartbeats. Is it working?
They're beating in sync.
It's the same demon.
I hate that lady, by the way, whoever
You don't
she
like
is.
her?
No, she stinks.
Oh.
The devil is always busy. Shut up.
Tired of her nonsense?
I fucking hate her.
Gotcha. Oh, jeez.
You pick and choose.
I mean,
Looks awesome.
it looks more horrendous than I imagined it could look.
Oh.
I love Ellen Burstyn, but they literally at this age, to get her to destroy her legacy.
I don't know. They're destroying any legacy. The
You're probably
Exorcist
right, yeah.
stands
It does, yeah.
on its own.
And The Exorcist 2 was not, is he here?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure this will be better than the Exorcist sequels.
The Exorcist 2 was not great, but
No.
Exorcist 3 was excellent. That was a scary
Yeah.
fucking movie with George C. Scott.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't the Exorcist.
No, but it was in a way because it was a continuation in the book, I think, called Legion, and it was very, very scary, and it was starred Brad Dourif, who was Billy Bibbit in Cuckoo's Nest.
Sure.
And it was just an interesting concept, and they kept the story going well. Like me and my buddy Kenny watched it.
Hello, Mr.
Not
Norton. I'm
that
here to
one.
go to the cinema.
I don't like scary movies.
That gives me the willies.
Yeah. No, we got it from Blockbuster as a joke.
Right.
And it was
Oh, that's cool.
and it was like we were both sitting there going, this is fucking horrifying.
You're both trying to make fun of it and like, I'm scared. Is he scared?
Dude, it was
like, you
legit.
don't want to be the...
It was legit scary. I'll never forget being in his living room. He had one of those giant couches with like a bunch of ottomans that like 5 people could sleep on. And we were both just sitting on this thing like, holy fuck. This is really creepy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The Exorcist 3, I part 1 kind of goes into part 3. One seems to follow.
Like they skipped, like they were like, let's ignore part 2 ever happened.
It picks up with Damien like
Damien,
who died at the end of the first one, but they said like they show that he was taken to a hospital and whatever it was in him left. It was just very interesting how they did it.
Yeah.
But you watch it and it didn't ruin it for you. Patrick Ewing had a cameo in that.
I love Patrick Ewing.
I know, it was so strange to see him.
Nick's legend.
But it was about it was this serial killer, which again sounds so corny to describe it, but who had inhabited one of the bodies and was running around decapitating people and draining their blood while they were awake. It was really great, giving them succinylcholine.
Sounds like Child's Play.
Well, I mean, this was first.
Exorcist 3?
What year was Child's Play?
89.
Oh, that was first. Okay, this is 90, 89. Whatever. Whenever you say serial killer, it's just so corny.
Yeah.
But this wasn't.
Yeah.
The Gemini killer. Yeah, George C. Scott was fuck. He played the part that Lee J. Cobb had played in the first one, which was Lieutenant Kinderman.
Sure.
And Lee J. Cobb was, on the waterfront, 12 Angry Men. Great fucking
classic actor.
Yeah, man. One of those, like the original, like cranky old man guy, but great.
One of those guys that you like always saw as an old man. Like there is no version of this person that's not a cranky old man.
He played the lead gangster in. You ever see On the Waterfront?
Yeah.
The guy who beat up Brando.
Right.
At the end of it on the dock.
Right.
You'll never work these docks again, Terry. That's a good movie. If anyone hasn't seen On the Waterfront, that's not really a stretch to say.
No,
but a lot of people in the younger generations may not have seen it.
It's an older movie.
Sure, our guest has seen it.
Yes,
what
I
a
would.
Segue.
I was so good.
Fucking good.
I mean, well, coming off of my input, it was an older movie.
Yeah, I'm so good with segues. I really know how to just take a moment and just kind of push it right into the next moment.
Shawn Rech is joining us. Shawn is the director of Convicting a Murderer, which the first episode premieres tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for free on X, and then moves over to Daily Wire Plus. This is basically it's 10 parts, right?
Yeah, it's 10 full hours. Yep.
10 hours, and it's the counterpoint, I would say, to Making a Murderer, right?
The rest of the story.
The rest of the story.
Paul Harvey phrase. Yeah.
And we've always felt like we interviewed Ken Krantz a while ago.
Yeah, I watched that.
And it was really like I always felt that he got a bad rap and they left so much stuff out. So I love that you did this. I love it.
You know, I watched Making a Murderer and I believed it. And then Catherine Schultz in the New Yorker tore it to shreds like a week later. But a lot of people don't read that stuff.
Right.
And she said, here's everything they left out. And then, isn't it funny that everything they left out would have made Stephen look worse? Things like that. So,
right.
So I, as a filmmaker, I had my movie out at the time called A Murder in the Park. I was just like, well, somebody's going to make the mother of all, slapbacks. And I can't wait to watch it. And no one did. So the law enforcement officers saw A Murder in the Park and they called us up and said, you guys were the first people to ever expose what they call the innocence industry. I never heard that term. So we would trust you to tell this story. And, after some haggling, because we weren't going to give them any control.
Right.
And we didn't. I have final cut. We made a deal where they weren't going to do anything else. And they were going to let me do this. And I didn't think it would take 6 years, but it did.
It's very thorough. Like we were able to see like the first, I watched the first, I think 2.5 episodes. It just got a little bit late. We only got them yesterday. And it's so good because you're painstakingly going over things that Making a Murderer showed. And we're not even into the evidence yet, but you're showing
we haven't really gotten into the Teresa Halbach stuff at all. It's all sort of
lead up and backstory, but you're showing this complete picture of Stephen Avery that they really glossed over. And it's when you see what they left out, that they had 10 episodes. They easily could have put this stuff in, but that there was a motive for them purposefully leaving it out, and it was to make him look like a victim.
You'll hear it in future episodes. We have prison calls of them saying, this is your movie. We hope this movie helps. I'm going to go back to work on your movie. We have all their prison calls, the filmmakers and Steven. So there's no, they're not going to have any answers for this.
Well, do you think as you're making this, because like I said, we've seen the first 3, so we haven't seen the stuff that gets really deep into the case. Mm-hmm. Is the problem that, look, if you look at this evidence, this guy is clearly guilty, or is it, no, what we're trying to show is that the Netflix doc was misleading and that he's a much worse person than you realized and somebody maybe capable of this.
We're trying to say, before you say the jury and judges got it wrong, judges because of the appeals, you need to know the full background. Okay, so you can view this in context. You need to see the patterns, and then maybe he didn't do it. I don't know. I tend to agree with the jury, but you need the full background, and we do get into a lot of other things. I mean, he's just not. When they say Stevie stole a cheese sandwich and a 6-pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon, that's just not true.
Yeah, some of the stuff you guys go over very early on in the series is hideous stuff.
And some of it too, you're looking at like in itself, him breaking into a place 3 times and not one is not bad. But then again, when you add this to it, and you add that to it, and you add that to it, and then you see the documentary makers left all of it out.
How about the burglary spree on his honeymoon?
Right, yeah.
Everyone does that.
Yeah. Yeah, he went out and stole it. What was it, like not a snowblower, but like a moped or something, or a bike?
Weapons.
Oh, did he steal weapons? Yeah. Oh, the shotguns, right, yeah.
Yeah,
he stole shotguns. Yeah, he was a bad guy.
Do you think that his time, because a big part of it too is the way, sort of while he was in jail for the crime that he did not do, the first 6 years for the crime that he did do, the
Correct.
Next 12 for what he didn't do.
Thanks for getting that.
Right, yeah, I saw, that was, I didn't know that until I watched
I didn't
the
either.
doc.
They just said 18 years, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute, that first one was
like,
for
no,
an attempted...
6 years he was guilty.
It was for the attempted kidnapping, right, of the cousin.
But do you think
at gunpoint?
Do you think that...
With a baby in the car.
Right, yeah.
Do you think that time in prison changed him as a person? Because, there's you go over in a lot of detail the communications from prison, the way he was talking to his wife that would become his ex-wife, the way he was talking to other family members,
his kids.
Yeah, his kids, which was, that's when you talk about hideous stuff. Do you think that he became a different person in prison, that it somehow...
It's possible
brought
that
this out in him?
It's possible that he got even worse, but he went in, in my opinion, a pretty twisted guy.
Mm-hmm.
He just, I think he was like the favorite kid. I think he was the alpha male in the family when the father got older. And if you watch the whole series, you're going to hear some stuff you're not going to believe, because these people are painted as they're painted as poor. They're not poor. They're painted as these folksy, happy people. They're not. They're miserable and they're sick. And you're going to hear some phone calls. You're going to hear some things from the parents that are going to shock you. We're not trying to destroy their reputation. And Dolores Ma Avery just recently passed away. But this is stuff that happened, so we're documenting it.
Yeah, it's fair too, because one thing that always rubbed me wrong about the original, and I remember watching this, because every time Teresa Hallback's family was on, they were the villains. And I was like, what the fuck with these? And I caught myself going, I'm rooting against these people who's the families of the murder victim. And that always rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, wait, how am I watching this? And I think after that, I started Googling things that the Avery case left out, because like, why am I rooting against the family? Like I was falling into the documentary thing of thinking he didn't do it. So whenever they came on, they were the bad guys because they were saying that he was guilty.
And then you realize, there is something.
The documentary makers are doing something here that's kind of shitty. So I started looking into stuff that was evidence that was left out.
And he led people down that road. Alec Baldwin on his podcast and his show was like, there's something about Teresa's brother. He's smooth as silk, but I don't see any remorse. It's just like, wait, that all, people are like, oh, we're past making the truthers now. They're like, yeah, we know Making a Murder was all BS, but we found 80 more things. Okay.
Right.
Well, Making a Murder is what made this train leave the station.
Yeah.
People got divorced over this.
It's weird that it's weird that show business people would also kind of fall into the narrative thing, because it's like, how
did you see
projects are made.
Do you see the tweets that we?
I was thinking
everybody, Ricky Gervais. everybody.
Yeah. I didn't even fault people who at first, because I think at first I believed it.
Well, I believed it.
Of course.
So people who were at first going, justice, but it's like once you get into it, and once Ken Krantz puts out a book, and once there's so much information available, the fact that you guys mentioned something which was really good in this, which is how people dig in their heels and just don't want to be wrong, and they don't want to let go of the point of view. And instead of just admitting like, oh, fuck, those documentary makers, which, by the way, the fact that he was wrongly convicted and spent all those years in prison and then got out and committed a murder is still a fascinating story. They could have just told it accurately, and it still would have been an interesting 3-part documentary at least. They didn't need to.
That's what it originally was, a 3-part documentary.
Oh, really?
At Doc NYC or wherever it showed. And it languished for years. This is not 1,000% confirmed, but they bid on the Jinx. They were trying to get the Jinx, but they wanted it to be bingeable.
Netflix, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
HBO won the Jinx.
Right.
And that's when supposedly, allegedly, that's when they were like, oh my God, our algorithms are telling us we need a long form crime piece. What about that piece of crap we saw in New York? Can we fix it? That's allegedly the story. I'm that's not 100% confirmed, but that's what I've been told by numerous people, including some folks involved with the Jinx, because they had FU money.
Right.
They could just say no. They took a lower bid to put it on HBO because HBO serialized it. They wanted people to think about every episode every week. And Netflix was like, no, our computer's telling us it has to all be bingeable, which worked like a charm with Making a Murder. So
yeah, and it was the first. I mean, it revolutionized. I feel like there are a lot of documentaries now that are far longer than they need to be because
we used to be a bunch of beggars, documentary filmmakers. We used to get I never did, but we used to get grants, do crowdfunding, all this stuff, and just beg to tell the straight news. So when all these networks, when Fox went right and MSNBC went left, and they left the truth untold in the middle, they handed us an opportunity on a silver platter. Us documentarians, and all of a sudden, since around the Jinx, that changed the game.
Yeah,
we make millions of dollars in documentaries now, but man, that's going to get killed if we don't tell the truth.
So is that kind of your motivation here? Is like, as a guy who makes documentaries,
I want to preserve the market. I want to preserve the market. To be honest with you, yeah, I'm not going to apologize for employing 40 people. And doing 6 or 8 films at a time, which is what we do, or Catching Predators. I own that show with Chris Hansen, so the stuff that we do, that's what finances it. So the market corrected itself, and now we're going to screw ourselves up by using narrative filmmaking techniques to tell news. Then the documentarians are like, hey, we didn't have a dog in this race. Yeah, you did. And they also say, oh, we use narrative filmmaking techniques. Well, you can't do that. You can't do that when it's implied. People trust us and they think they're watching the truth. That's why the record had to be corrected. I made a lot of money. I would have done this for free. And by the way, I was completely blackballed in Hollywood. My agents here in New York were like, because they co-pro with Netflix. They were like, we don't even want to talk about that project.
So Netflix is pissed about this.
I don't know. Netflix didn't tell anybody to not buy it. I don't believe there's anything nefarious there. I just think everybody's afraid to piss them off.
The Daily Wire, I'm watching this. I'm like, it's interesting what they're putting on that platform. Like this is.
Oh, they're doing a lot of non-political stuff. They're doing children's programming that just doesn't have any trans people. They're doing a lot of stuff just to feed the masses who don't like the way things are going right now. The Daily, I was a charter subscriber.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to it, but I'm almost tempted to see the rest of this because I do want to see the rest of this. And I know Candace Owens is, I guess, a producer on it.
Yeah, and Candace rewrote the entire series,
and she narrates it and does it. I mean, from the first 3 episodes, it's a great job. But I was surprised at the Daily Wire. I'm like, yeah, this is like a real studio. Like when you watch it, it's not like what you would expect a web company to be doing.
It's not like some guys who runs this company is just making a bunch of stuff.
Right, this is like a legit studio
they have
production.
Hundreds of employees. I mean, you should see the place. It's a secret location, but it's a really, really cool operation with all these phenomenal sets, and I mean, it's big.
What was the first thing you saw in this Avery case that made you go like, fuck, this is wrong? Like, what were the first piece of evidence? For me, it was a bit of, I think Ken Krantz said there was more blood than they indicated in the car and in other places that the documentary left out. What was the first one?
The first thing for me was, as a filmmaker, when I was watching it, I'm like, this blood vial thing is just a bomb. The fact that there's a hole in the blood vial. Little did I think, how the hell did the blood get in the vial?
Right.
Okay. But, that was the big thing for me. And then I just couldn't understand as a filmmaker, when I watched the end, I thought, I'm watching like the last 5 minutes of episode 10. I'm like, they're going to close this loop. They're going to say some more about the blood vial. They never did. It was a non-issue. There was EDTA in it, in the blood. That was in the vial. It's a preservative. So that would have been in the sample, and it wasn't. So there was somebody ready to testify. The defense didn't even they didn't even bring it up, so they didn't have to bring in that nurse to testify how they put the blood in.
Right.
That when I saw that, I knew it was deliberate.
Yeah.
I knew it was deliberate. And then I watched their interviews, and they were like, well, you know, we had to do it for brevity. This thing has to track this, which I understand is hard to get a movie to track. Okay. So you don't always put everything in, but the things that fall on the cutting room floor, if they're all things that would have made Steven look bad, there's something wrong.
Well, what do you think the motivations of the filmmakers were? If they why would they deliberately try to make this guy look better than he was?
Because Netflix sent them notes telling them to.
Oh, so the original three-parter.
We have the notes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was 3 parts or a 3-hour doc. I'm not positive on that. I know it was profoundly changed when Netflix got a hold of it, and they wrote a lot of notes to the filmmakers to try and get them to have a point of view, and to try and get them to make the baddies look worse. Every time there's a cop, use ominous music.
You have those notes.
That's a note. Oh, it's in the series. Yes. I hope people know this is just a theory, because we're kind of saying the cops killed Teresa. You know, that's from a Netflix. That's a note from a Netflix
How did you get
person.
the notes?
Discovery from the lawsuit where Andrew Colburn sued Netflix.
Oh, wow.
But he lost. I mean, it's a very high standard. It's tough to win those cases.
Sure. But once stuff gets into Discovery, it's there.
It's there.
Wait, he lost. He was one of the cops. Did he sue for defamation?
Sued for defamation, and the court found for the filmmakers, which, you know, I feel bad because I like Andrew Colburn as a human being. You know, after the interview, he cried and hugged me and said, "Thank God someone's going to try and tell this story the right way." You know, there should be an extremely high standard. Otherwise, people are you know, swatting you. You know, trying to lawyer you to death.
Yeah, but there's also like too, when they get something so wrong, like if they paint somebody as a murderer or as an incompetent who allowed a murderer to, you know, this should also be like, for journalists and anybody, you should have to know that you're telling the truth before you put it on film. It shouldn't just have to be actual malice. You should have to know you're telling the truth.
At the beginning of this, when we started filming, Andrew Colburn handed me, you know, what we used to have with all of our DVDs in it, one of those, you know, vinyl cases with 37 CDs, audio CDs, full of death threats. 37. Wow. And most of them are from other countries. So this impacted, nobody knows for sure how many people watched Making a Murderer, probably 100 million plus.
Right.
I've been flown to Norway to talk about the progress of our project. You know, first class to Oslo, you know, just to talk about it. So it's a very big thing in Europe. And anyway.
When you see, like, Brendan Dassey, we always, like, I definitely felt he was a part of it and guilty. But he obviously, his mental capacity is not good. But that lawyer, his first lawyer, whose name, was it Len?
Len Kaczynski.
He got painted as such a bad guy, but it turned out he was giving him the right advice to take the 7-year deal. It was 7 years, right?
He was giving the right advice, but that wasn't awesome lawyering.
No, but I mean, but his advice.
He made some huge mistakes.
He got painted as this evil guy, right? But wasn't his advice good about taking the 7? Like, just take this deal.
He should have. He should have taken that deal. He'd be out.
Oh, he would have been out. Yeah.
You know, I mean, that kid. If Stephen Avery didn't exist, that kid would be playing video games that day, not out. You know, doing whatever he actually did.
Do you think he knew he was committing a rape? Like meaning, or did he think that he was just having sex with this person because his uncle told him to? Or do you think that he knew, like, hey, I'm doing something that this person doesn't want me to do, I'm hurting them?
I don't know. He went home in between while she was still alive, allegedly, and could have saved her. You know, his mother on a phone call says, "My God, you could have been the hero." He goes, "Yeah, but then I would have been, you know, in trouble." So he had he said that on a prison
self-preservation, yeah.
But also, I mean, you know, and, you know, like I said, we haven't seen the whole doc or anything, but it seems like the Avery family as a whole, the way they behaved and kind of behaved within a familial unit, you could easily see why a young person who was diminished as it was, but also just somebody who wasn't an adult, the idea of what's normal and what's not normal could have been dramatically different growing up in an Avery family than
his paradigm had to be all messed up.
Yeah,
being a part of that family.
Right. That's what it seemed like anyway, watching. So when you were talking about, finding that spot that people like where it's just telling the truth, did it concern you at all when you landed with the Daily Wire? Because regardless of whether, we think that they put out political shows, we know the perception, right, of the Daily Wire is that they are this political body, especially Candace Owens is a very politically polarizing figure to attach with your movie. I'm sure, or with the series, I'm sure that without watching, you're going to get a lot of people who are going to think this is somehow tied to right wing something.
It's not a right wing piece. I'm Republican. Okay, I'll tell you that right now. But it's not about politics. I think there are guilters who are on both sides of the aisle. I think there are truthers who are on both sides of the aisle. What I was worried about and what I had never done before was add a layer of commentary. Candace wanted to give some commentary. I usually just lay out the facts. If you watched A Murder in the Park or White Boy or any of the stuff I've done, we just lay it out there and let people decide. And we don't have to be ham-handed with the music and things like that for emotion, because facts will make people emotional. She wanted to add a layer of commentary, and she rewrote the whole series, like I said, and I'm fine with it now. Because people, because we're transparent. It's commentary. You can throw the pillow at the TV then. If you don't agree with her, it's okay. You don't have to, she's not using radar or X-rays to put things into your head.
Right.
And the Daily Wire is not like a lockstep MAGA. I mean, like I said, I've been a subscriber forever. I'm a huge Ben Shapiro fan. Every day during Trump's presidency, he did a segment called Good Trump, Bad Trump. He ripped on Trump every day of his presidency about his buffoonery. So they're not like, jackbooted Nazis. They're not. They just speak the truth, in my opinion. Yeah, they go to the right, but it's not as partisan as people think.
Yeah, I didn't feel as political at all. Like, I'm watching this, I didn't feel like Candace Owens was giving any message other than commenting on the facts of the case. Like, I didn't feel like there was anything they were trying to tell me that didn't belong.
The only thing that's probably a little political is we think, and some psychologists think that that was the start of the Mike Brown hands up, don't shoot movement.
Right.
And we thought that there were people who probably wanted, a white Mike Brown to root for. So that's about as political as we got.
Yeah, in the very beginning. Remember
and that actually might have been a fair question to ask. Like, hey, did that motivate people to go, oh my God, yeah, it happens to...
Well, that's that algorithm that tells Netflix what their objectives are and what kind of shows, what their mandates. They're called, in the business, they're called mandates. Like we get mandates. A&E says no more cupcakes, no more pit bulls, find big personalities who rags to riches. That's a mandate, okay? So you get a mandate sheet. Who knows what makes their mandates, how the sausage is made. Does some of that social stuff get put in there? Because I was told Netflix isn't made up of a bunch of artists. Netflix is more like McKinsey and Company. They're made up of a bunch of analysts, and that's why they're so successful. They know exactly what their audience wants, and they got so sick of trying to find it that they started making it themselves. I actually love Netflix. I'm a Netflix subscriber. I don't think they did this to be evil. I think they did it to serve their audience, but they went too far in serving their audience. Yeah,
it just started to annoy me when I started looking into what they left out and this need. Let me ask you, as a documentary maker, what is the best documentary, obviously, that you're not involved with, that you've ever seen? The fairest one that you've ever seen?
Oh man, I wasn't ready for that question. Probably The Keepers.
Did I see that? Is that the old guys who kind of live in oh no, that's My Brother's Keeper.
No, that was a fantastic. That was. I need a shower after that one.
Yeah, My Brother's Keeper. What was The Keepers?
Keepers is the movie, the Duplass brothers movie about the priests and the school and the dead girl in Philadelphia, I believe, and the cover up and how this girl was being pimped out to cops. It was like a real Pizzagate. And how this priest in charge of this school got away with it. And it was like, it was just awful. It's Catholic Church stuff.
Reminds me of Vatican Girl. Isn't it Vatican Girl?
It's about a nun who was killed, who was murdered.
Really?
Yeah.
And how about another one that reminds me of Stephen Avery's?
By the way, it's a Netflix series.
Is it?
Yeah.
so they
My
done it
agents co-produced it.
Yeah. Paradise Lost was about the Damien Echols and
the West Memphis 3. That was one of the very early.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have been in jail movie, and probably something that influenced Making a Murderer, right? As big as that series got?
Yes, and it's kind
series
of
of movies.
Iconic. Do you think those guys, do you think that was a fair thing? Or because I've heard since that the documentary makers kind of did something similar, but I don't know any of the
I'm
evidence.
not familiar with that case.
Okay.
That's the one everybody always asks about. I'm not familiar with that case. I did one. A Murder in the Park was about Al Story Simon, and we walked them out at the end of the movie. And I just spoiled it for everybody.
That's right.
But it was about a guy. It was about a double wrongful conviction, where the Innocence Project actually put a guy away to get another guy off death row and to end the death penalty in Illinois. And Time Magazine named it one of the 15 most fascinating true crime stories ever told. That was my first work, and it was kind of a piece of garbage filmmaking wise, but it was. The story was incredible.
Oh, so the Barry Sheck and the Innocence Project are really, because they only want to help you if you're truly innocent, not like search and seizure shit, but like real innocence.
Yeah, like recants are a dime a dozen. Like a 30-year-old woman who testified when she was 12.
Yeah.
Of what she saw, and she feels guilty, and she knows the family of the killer, and she's like, boy, I have the power to get him out if I just say I'm not sure. Now.
Yeah.
Recants are a dime a dozen. It has to be DNA. I showed that film to the yeshiva, the Barry Sheck Innocence Project here in New York. I showed a Murder in the Park to them, and they were like, well, that's not how we operate. And about 2 weeks later, they were no longer allowed to use the name Innocence Project, that group that did it. Because anybody could use that name, and they said, stop using that name. Now it's like the Center for Innocence.
Wait,
wow.
Wait, who's
that was Northwestern University.
Oh, so Barry Sheck's group told them not to use it?
Yes, they said, please stop using our name.
Wow. So Barry Sheck's group didn't back up your movie?
No, they said that's not how we operate, but they don't, because it probably hurts the Innocence Project name, even though I think it's a really noble, awesome organization, and it spurred what are now into conviction integrity units that are popping up all over the world, all over the country. And there should be conviction integrity units for people who run out of appeals.
Yeah, because it's crazy how
there should be one in Wisconsin. And you know what? Let Stephen go through the process. And by the way, Stephen has the best appellate attorney who ever walked the earth. She can't get him out.
She can't. Yeah, she was really cocky too in that second. What's her name? Kathleen Zellner.
But
yeah,
there are a lot of movies about her cases. Her cases are fantastic, and she's really good at what she does. But I think she probably has. I'm guessing, and she'll tweet that I'm full of crap. I'm guessing she has a little remorse about taking this case. That's my just personal opinion.
Did she lose a round recently?
Yeah, they had something go against them like 6 weeks ago, I think. Yeah, they've never been successful in getting them a new trial.
Did you try to get Kathleen for your movie?
No. She's the star of the second season of Making a Murderer, and she made it clear. Stephen. When Stephen asked everyone to not cooperate with our film, we didn't bother asking.
Oh, he did.
I did. I think I did write her a couple emails.
Right.
I didn't expect her to participate. I didn't expect the filmmakers to participate. They were in the middle of a lawsuit. I reached out to Netflix a few times, a few different ways, just on LinkedIn and stuff like that. And they never answered me.
Are they being sued, or are they suing someone, the filmmakers?
The filmmakers and Netflix were being sued, and they won.
Oh, the defamation thing with the... Oh, okay.
What have the filmmakers said anything about the criticisms?
No, they haven't said much. I think that they're kind of shell-shocked from everything.
Don't they just say, we let it speak for itself? I thought I heard them say that.
Yeah, they said that we let it speak for itself, and, we just documented what happens, all demonstrably not true.
Right, because there's an editing. I mean, again, you're telling a story regardless of what it is, because you want people to keep watching.
Sure, you got to have the hook at the end.
The first documentary in history, the recognized first documentary ever, is called Nanook of the North. Okay, it was back in the 1920s, and it was fake. The very first doc was fake. Right?
It was. Was it reenactments, or the whole thing was a lie?
It was about the Inuit. The Eskimos, and they showed their lives, and it was all staged. This guy's biting a phonograph record like he's going to eat it, and the guy had a record player at home. They had radios. They put on. It wasn't a real family. They did a harpoon hunt. They hadn't done that in 30 years of a walrus. It was all staged by the filmmaker.
But was it well received and popular, and people loved it?
Oh yeah, people. It's in film school. Like, here's the first doc. Here's the foundation of our filmmaking techniques. Unfortunately, it's totally fake.
How do you avoid the temptation, though, when you're making a documentary and you know that if I go down this road, it makes the story better and more interesting? Isn't it hard to, at least, even if you can't do it, isn't it hard to avoid that? Like things that you know will make it more interesting?
You can do it, but you have to wink at the audience. You have to say, look, this is just a theory. This is the things Netflix said in their notes should have been said in the series. Like, hey, this is just a theory. But instead they just pushed it so hard and just accomplished it so well, getting people to think that these law enforcement officers were the epitome of evil.
Yeah, and didn't they? But Dassey, because they showed that interview, like, oh, poor guy. But weren't there like hours of interviews before that where he said,
in which he was not led. In the original interview, he was not led. They look, when I watched it and I saw them saying, okay, I'm going to come out and say it, who shot her in the head? I was like, that's leading. That doesn't, no.
Yeah.
That's horrible. It's horrible what they're doing to this kid. I believe that. But then I watched the original interview, when his cousin said, my cousin Brendan is crying every day and he lost 50 pounds and he's not himself and there's something wrong. When she told the police that and they thought he might be a witness, they brought him in that interview. He spilled his guts. And that's going to make, I'm going to get 1,000 tweets over that, but he did. He spilled his guts, and they sat there and listened.
What are the tweets? What do you mean 1,000? People disagree with that?
You wouldn't believe the hate I'm getting right now.
Really?
Well, I'm destroying a religion.
There's a lot of people who are supportive of Stephen Avery, of Brendan Dassey, and so to make I would understand why you're getting hate if people don't believe that what you're saying is true.
But why so dug in on it? Like when you read evidence that was left out, why are they so dug in when they?
A psychologist explained this to us. He said you can shoot down one part of it, and they're going to say, oh, okay, fine, he's a piece of crap, fine, and then they build a wall, and it's partitioned off, and so they've got these 25 or 30 partitions of stuff they know isn't true, but it's never together. What this documentary is all of that assembled, and in my opinion, well told, and their heads are going to explode.
Yeah, Brendan, you feel a little bad for, because again, I maybe he did know what he was doing, but I have to see how you guys unfold it, because I still thought he belonged in prison, because I still think he was a part of it. But Avery was obviously I think the worst of the two.
Brendan would never have done anything if it weren't for Stephen Avery. So making a murderer title is appropriate. Stephen Avery made Brendan Dassey a murderer. That's the truth.
Yeah, because you realize he was kind of a psychopath. When you guys show the evidence you show, he was like a psychopath all those years. He wasn't like just a good guy. I think Candace said the terms, got mixed up with the wrong crowd or however.
No, he was a leader of the pack.
He was a shit guy.
Yeah, he's a pretty awful guy. And we spent a lot of time showing that.
And did you just
took 3 episodes to show it?
Yeah, that's where I'm at now.
That
so
much stuff.
I'm literally have to pay for a subscription now, and I'm not just saying that because I'm interviewing. I actually want to see how this turns out because it was so in depth.
That's what I hope happens. I want the Daily Wire to be successful, and I want them to be rewarded for having the guts to do this, because we only had one other offer, and I didn't want to put it on this woman's crime network. I just didn't for a lot of reasons.
And nobody else wanted this.
Oh, people wanted it, but their bosses didn't.
That's what I mean. Like, the network.
Look, there's so many musical chairs. A buyer, if you're a buyer, and I'm just arbitrarily saying, if you're a buyer at Hulu, there's a good chance you're going to work at Netflix one day. But if you put that on, you're not. I wouldn't think. Okay, so everybody's thinking about self-preservation, about their future. So the truth, in a sense, wasn't as important to them. So then I think we took a risk doing this. Everything I made has been on Netflix. That's not going to happen anymore.
What was a White Boy? I thought was great too.
Thank you.
Who is that assassin? I became fascinated with that guy.
Nate Boone Kraft.
Yeah, he just died, right?
Oh, did he?
I thought so. Can you look him up? I thought he just died. I was reading the guy, the giant guy who.
Yeah, I didn't know. I texted him.
Well, if he responded, I'm wrong.
He didn't respond.
Oh, okay.
No, I texted him like 6 months ago. Let me tell you a funny story. So we premiered that to 2,800 people at the Detroit Institute of Art at the Detroit Free Film Festival, and I put him in a nurse's uniform, all right, so that he would look like an inmate, because nobody would ever believe that he was a free man after admitting to killing 30 people. Okay, so I put him in a basement in a laundry room of an apartment building, wearing a nurse's uniform. So 3/4 of the way through the movie, he's in the audience. He's in the back, okay? And 3/4 of the way through the movie, and I'm sitting in the front watching the audience. 3/4 of the way, he says something funny and he goes, ah, ha, 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 and everybody knew it was his voice. And everybody in the audience turned white and slowly turned their heads, and they were like, "Oh my God, that guy's here."
That was amazing. That's what I'm talking. Like where you didn't because you didn't lie about it, and you do. It is a reveal that he's out. But that was great.
It was a little bit of a slime ball move.
It was great.
I just wanted to entertain the audience. It was implied, but we came clean at the end that he got away with it, and it was like I needed one more bomb.
Yeah, it was a great job. Troy, is he alive or dead?
I'm looking. I don't think he's dead.
Oh, maybe who am I thinking? I'm
Yeah, I don't see anything that says he's dead.
might be good. I'm glad I'm wrong.
His attorney died. Ralph Musilli.
Who is the guy in Detroit? It's
kind of a bummer. That means he's just not responding to your texts.
Yeah. I'm sad now. He doesn't like he changes numbers all the time too.
No, maybe I'm thinking of. Is he the same guy? There was one guy who had his boss was a big drug dealer, and he was very close to him, and he wound up killing his own boss. Maybe I'm mixing him up with another assassin from Detroit. I hope I'm wrong.
Gil Hill died. The guy from Beverly Hills Cop.
Not him. No, I know who that is too. Yeah. But no, not him.
He passed away before the film came out.
What was his name? The killer?
Nate Boone Kraft.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'm glad I'm wrong. I'm thinking the guy's dead, and I'm incorrect.
No, he mows old ladies' lawns. I don't think the old ladies know who he is.
Oh, really?
Is that what he does?
Yeah,
now? That's great.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have like a normal existence after such a crazy.
It's not that normal. I met him at McDonald's to hand him a little cash one day, and everybody walking into McDonald's knew who he was, and they were just like, "Oh God," like he's just, you can imagine. It's like Al Capone.
Yeah, it probably is one of those things where he's mowing old women's lawns, except depending on who's driving by, they go, "Oh, is that?"
Yeah, it was a good job. And what is Rick doing?
Rick is an entrepreneur, so he's out and about. He just I think he started a strain or like a cannabis brand in Detroit.
Isn't that amazing? Like Rick Ross too is doing that now.
Freeway?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my buddy.
Yeah. I like Rick. He's doing he's got his own thing that he's involved with, and it's so funny these guys that got locked up for it or spent time in jail.
The freeway. So you can't. It's really, really hard to win a federal appeal.
Yeah.
Freeway won a federal appeal pro se. He was his own attorney, and he won a federal. He got out of a life sentence.
What did he find some double jeopardy thing in there?
I think he found a Brady violation. I have to go back. There's a documentary called Freeway: Cracking the System that Mark Wahlberg did about Ricky, and it tells the whole story.
How did you become friends with Freeway Rick Ross?
Through Seth Ferranti, who's he used to be in the Village Voice and Scene Magazine and all these things. Somebody was writing a secret article from prison every week, saying all the inside stuff. He ended up being like put in solitary for it, and he'd be a fascinating interview for you guys.
Yeah.
He's a filmmaker now, but he interviewed me as a writer for, I think it was for the Daily Beast when A Murder in the Park came out. Seth Ferranti. But he was, when I found out that I was all through college and everything, I was reading the Guerrilla Convict article in Cleveland. I'm from Cleveland. It's Scene Magazine in Cleveland that carried that column, and I was like, oh my God, I've been reading your stuff since I was 18 years old, and we became friends, and he's super good friends with everybody. I mean, I know Preem, Fred McGriff here in New York. I know a lot of people through Seth. He's my connection.
Those guys are always really interesting because we've interviewed Rick a few times. We had Frank Lucas when he was promoting like some American guy. He was kind of hard to understand because he had he was very old by that point. And he had a heavy accent. But those guys are always so interesting. Guys that went to jail for a long time and have like this new life.
They come out and they're all right. Johnny Curry, and Herm Groman, the FBI agent who arrested him, they're buds.
Who's Johnny Curry?
Johnny Curry was the big gangster with the fur coat in Detroit from White Boy, the guy who was married to the mayor's niece, and the mayor gave him a protective detail to sell drugs.
What, right? Is that the guy where there was something he wouldn't comment on? Is that the guy in the doc?
He wouldn't comment on the killing of a child.
Yeah, there was something. He's like, I'm not going to talk about that. There was one thing. Okay, I remember that guy.
Yep. Yeah,
wow.
But he and Herm are friends.
Do you find those?
I go, what is this? He goes, it's kind of like we were playing Cowboys and Indians. You know,
except real life.
Yeah.
And when you get a guy like Nate, who I guess I was incorrect, he is still alive, which is I would love to interview him. When you get a guy like that and you're talking to him, are there avenues he doesn't want to go down, or is he pretty comfortable with all of it?
No, he unloaded, man. I mean, he said he had to run his hit list by Hill Hill. The head of homicide had to approve the homicides. Think about how corrupt is that town.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is a famous movie star, too. Somebody wrote a tweet when they were watching. They go, "I'm 10 minutes into White Boy, and Richard Wershe Jr. is the least interesting person in this movie." That's good because there's so many huge characters.
Yeah. But did you know it would unfold like that? Like when you like we love Dear Zachary. Morgan Spurlock turned us on to Dear Zachary.
That's the most intense movie I've ever watched, and it's not good filmmaking. I mean, what the hell? The guy drove around the North America with a little camera, so
sure.
I can forgive it. And the poster's weak, but that may be. That's in the top 5 documentaries ever made.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's one of those ones where you're starting out and you know that he's being truthful. You're starting out in one place, and this crazy shit just unfolds.
You never see that coming. You never see that coming. And I was like a truther. I was so mad at the Canadian government by the end of that movie for letting that happen. They let that happen.
They did, yeah.
And that poor grandfather. Oh, yeah. Dear Zachary is a phenomenal story.
My greatest accomplishment as a person is my manager one time called me, and him and his wife wanted to rent a comedy, and they didn't know what to rent. And I'm like, you should see this. The wife was just dying for a good comedy. I'm like, get Dear Zachary. I'm like, I told him, I said, don't look.
Oh my God.
Because I always tell people, don't Google it. Don't look it up. Just watch it. And that's what Morgan Spurlock said to us.
Yeah.
And he said she was upset. She was crying. Which was my greatest accomplishment as a person, was ruining my fucking manager's night with his wife.
I'll tell you who else would be a great interview if you want him is my partner, Chris Hansen, because we started.
Oh, we know Chris. Yeah, he's great.
He started his own network with me called True Blue, watchtrueblue.com, where we actually restarted the whole Predator franchise. There are 40 brand new episodes. And we're.
And where is that?
These guys, watchtrueblue.com, which is it's an Apple app. It's on Android, Fire Stick, Roku, or you can go to the website and sign up and watch on the web. You can cast it to your TV. It's like a little Netflix.
Isn't it amazing with Chris Hansen that this guy's a Dateline reporter? Mm-hmm. That's what he was. That was his job. And they just do this sort of spin-off Dateline series, and it changes the course.
He thought they might do 3 of them. He thought they might do 3 of them. And these guys, when you see if you go to True Blue, we have a couple on our YouTube page, all right? So there's a YouTube page that has a couple full episodes. But when you see these guys walk in, they all know who he is.
Of course.
So they lost the Chris Hansen lottery, okay? There's how many thousands of cities in the U.S., they're like, well, I'm addicted to sex with kids, so I'm going to show up at this house. There's a 1 in 5,000 chance that Chris Hansen's going to be there. When they see his face, their bodies, the grunts they make, some smile and they think they're famous. Like it's weird, man. But
thinking they're famous is really weird.
Oh, the fanboy.
That's dark.
Fanboy Matthew. Watch that episode.
Right. But you see me keep going for my pen. I'm writing that down.
Don't eat beforehand.
Oh, do you remember the guy who thought he knew Chris from the train?
Dude, I was just about to say
that was his drinking buddy. Because they all lived in Connecticut. They worked here in the city in Manhattan, and they would take the train to Connecticut. They go to the bar, have a couple drinks, and they had a drinking train.
Right, that's back when they had a drinking car on the train.
And they would sit there and get drunk together, and he showed up, and he goes, Chris.
He's like, not you. I mean, there are a couple of classics from that era. It's that guy, the train guy, and of course, he's come up on this show before, Jeff Sokol, the pizza guy.
Yeah, that's the biggest one. He's the biggest one. I wasn't involved with the show back then.
Yeah,
we just did like the last 2.5 years, but they're really gritty and raw now. Chris swears at him.
Oh, really?
Oh God, yeah.
And Chris is a big guy.
Chris is I'm 6'2". He's probably 6'4.5".
Yeah.
And he kickboxes. Like we just filmed this training. We're making a movie called I'm Chris Hansen, and we just filmed his whole routine yesterday, and he sits there and kickboxes with his trainer. It's crazy. Well, and I asked his trainer in an interview afterwards. I go, are you in the back of your head thinking that he might get confronted? He said, hell yeah.
Yeah.
He's 63 years old. He needs to be able to defend himself long enough for the cops to come out of the bathroom and get the guy.
What you're doing is you're presenting people with a camera, something that's going to put them in prison for a long time, or potentially could put them in prison for a long time,
and destroy their lives.
And
I mean, even if you don't go to prison,
it definitely,
right?
Some of them don't go to prison, but because the fact is there wasn't a child there.
Well, one guy actually, I think, is the guy who kind of heard it, because in his defense, he's like, it was role play, and I knew it was role play. And I think once that precedent is set, other people can say, oh yeah, I knew it was.
Yeah, they can cite that case law, but and they can say, hey, you have to be 19 to be on that site. You authorize that you were 19.
But dude, I mean, when you see somebody and you're like, I know that face from somewhere. Where do I know that face from? And you realize it's from a Predator show. I mean, forget it. Your life's over after those things air.
Yeah, he also. There was the one. Oh shit, I forgot. I was going to ask you about one particular case. God damn it, I can't remember. It'll come back as soon as the interview is over.
Well, yeah, I mean, NBC stopped because of the
Dallas prostitute. That's what I was going to ask.
Suicide.
Yeah, that
right?
was the guy. He was a prosecutor in the next county, and knew he was when they knocked on his door. He didn't answer, and they heard crack.
Yeah.
And he called him. That's a terrible, terrible story. It's a tragedy. Nobody wants that to happen.
No.
But isn't it crazy that they didn't do the show after that? Like I don't understand why they would penalize the show when it was actually, it's like America's Most Wanted. It was like a legit service.
The show was too expensive to make back then. I think it was over $600,000 an episode when they made those, because they had to pay perverted justice. They had to have their own security. We just watched the cops do it, but they let Chris walk out and do the confrontation. That's the payoff. So we let them, and they're going to prison. They're not going to go home and say, I hope the cops don't come by. So ours are really solid. People enjoy them quite a bit. The ones that are on True Blue.
And you work with the police. That's the key, right?
We're always with an agency. Yeah. Our guys are in bulletproof vests, and we have hidden cameras. Chris comes out alone. Our shooters, we have 3 or 4 guys with FS9s, who'll come out once, the jig is up. But at the beginning, it's just the GoPros, when he walks out. And
wow.
Yeah, it's fascinating television. It's like there's a new one coming out today from northern Michigan, from the UP. Chris got 7 guys there 3 weeks ago.
Jesus.
Caught 7 people in 2 days.
Has anyone, because the system was the person would walk up and you'd hear, I'm going to go change my shirt, and the undercover cop would run away. Has anybody gotten to the door and heard that and went, oh fuck, I know what this is?
They don't do the iced tea anymore. Have some sweet tea. Now it's like. Let me grab my vape. Did you bring the weed? I'm grabbing my vape. So now they kind of modernized it,
Yeah.
But has anybody caught on before they walk in that, this doesn't sound right?
Yeah. People like be at the front door and turn around and go, no way. But the cops do the tackle, and
so it's already over.
There's an assistant prosecutor there while they're chatting.
Right.
So at a certain point, when they send a picture of themselves, all right, that's it. They're prosecutable. It doesn't matter if they show up. So it's all gravy after that.
Right.
So they're already basically as a warrant for their arrest when they show up. So, it's just all frosting on the cake after that. So they're done when they send that picture.
I mean, the stuff that you deal with, whether it's this, whether it's the documentaries you've made, I mean, just being in that sort of true crime world, I mean, there must be so many days that you get home from working just like needed like an Ace Ventura shower, just like
I got a 15-year-old son, man, and I'm like, where he gets propositioned on Xbox playing his games.
No way.
Yeah, for points and stuff. Send me a picture of yourself. I mean, he showed me. I was like, oh my god, like
wow.
Apple and Microsoft need to get on this.
Yeah.
Because these kids, they're talk about being addicted. They'll do anything to get new armor or a better weapon. So that I guarantee it works. So I told Chris we need to get on that too. We caught a 71-year-old trying to buy a 13-year-old off her stepfather. Yeah. Like the predators now are so much worse.
There was some guy. It's funny you say that. There was a guy yesterday I was reading on the Daily Mail. He was a sommelier. I guess that's why those are the wine guys.
Yeah, the sommelier.
He got arrested.
It's really hard to get that title.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
There's a documentary about
yes,
the
there
sommeliers.
is. I watched it.
Yeah.
Sam. It's called Sam.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yes.
I'm plugging
on Netflix.
it. Yeah.
They caught him in some kind of like a human trafficking, like torture someone sting operation, and then the video they show is him popping a champagne. Like he's this happy-go-lucky sommelier.
The double lives that people lead are just like so crazy.
Yeah, looks like such a good egg.
We had a guy show up who was the husband of a Supreme Court justice in the state of Michigan, and he's like, "Well, he saw Chris's face. He goes, my marriage is over."
The least of your concerns.
That's the end of episode. That's the end of season 3. If you go to watch True Blue.
Did you ever follow up and find out what happened to him?
Oh yeah, we do. We actually add on to the end what their sentences were. A lot of them get probation.
But can you imagine, like, also the spouse, the judge, that's like sitting there going, like, how could I not know that this is going on? Like, I've been married to this person, and this is like, I didn't even know this whole life.
Yeah. And then his excuse was even worse because he's like, well, I haven't been able to get it up with my wife, so I was going to see if she could help.
Oh, just
at least so you had a reason. I thought yeah.
Yeah, so that's logical.
Yeah.
But I'm sure his wife liked hearing that too.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes you understand when they say you have the right to remain silent that you should just shut up.
Yeah.
When you're on
They
television.
never do. Grady Judd, the sheriff down in Polk County, Florida, you know who he is?
What's his name?
Grady Judd.
No.
Okay, there's a famous press conference about 4 years ago where a guy shot at cops, his sheriff's deputies, and he took 37 bullets. And a reporter said, why was he shot 37 times? And Grady Judd said, because we ran out of bullets. All right. Grady Judd, he's our host in Polk County where we do these predator investigations. But God, what was your question?
About people who sometimes just shutting up is the best move.
Oh yeah, he said no. He did a press conference about and he said nobody would talk to us. He said, but everybody talked to Chris Hansen. Thanks, Chris.
You're right.
They can't. It's like the South Park episode where Cartman's, like, oh my God, how is he doing this to me? How is he getting me to sit in this chair? It's pretty funny. Chris has like superpowers.
Yeah, you know what I've noticed about him is he has no authority there, but he has an authoritative tone. Like he seems.
Well, he looks like an FBI agent.
He looks like a man in charge. We'll get to that. I love it. They go, "Who are you?" Well, we'll get to that.
There's also something about him that's paternal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that when you have damaged people, a lot of times,
a lot of damaged people need guardrails.
Right.
He's instantly putting structure in their life.
Right. Exactly.
That's the psychology of it. Yeah.
And he's not yelling. He's going, "What do you think?" Like he's almost saying, "Hey, look, this is explainable. Let's just get it out, and then you can."
He yells in the new episodes.
Oh, he does.
A couple times, yeah, because these guys are. Another guy came to buy a girl off her stepdad. We've had a couple of those.
That's nuts.
And he goes, well, I just wanted some adventure. And Chris said, go climb a mountain. He yelled it.
Well, Shawn, look,
he lives down the street. You should have him on again.
I would anytime he wants.
Yeah.
He's a great guest. He's always fun to have.
Yeah.
Convicting a murderer. It was you did a brilliant job directing this. What I've seen in the first 3 episodes, and Candace does a really good job of.
She's the smartest human being I've ever met.
Yeah,
seriously, she's amazing.
It's not a political thing, too. Like it's on the Daily Wire, but I didn't feel anything was being politicized at me. I just felt like this was purely about what that documentary left out. I didn't even feel like you were indicting Stephen Avery.
Yeah,
I felt
we took sides a little. I mean, I'm transparent about that.
But I felt like at least I didn't feel like it was being forced on me. It was being shown like, hey, this is what they left out. I mean, there was no other way to spin it. If these are the facts and this is what he did, you're just kind of showing what he did.
Yeah.
So great job, man. I want to see the 7 episodes. Really great.
So it premieres on X. It's up now? Not tomorrow night?
It's up now for Daily Wire subscribers. And I found that on the way here. Thanks, Daily Wire, for not telling me.
So if you're a Daily Wire subscriber, it's up now.
You can watch it right now. But if you're, it'll be on X tomorrow night at 9:00. The biggest movie ever on X was What Is a Woman? It had over, I think, 200 million views, and we're hoping that this tops it.
Yeah, this is excellent, and I'm so happy that you made this.
Thank you.
I got so sick of people yammering about him, even after the Ken Krantz book, even after all this shit came out. At first, I was on board too, but when they just wouldn't shut up about it, it's like, will you undig yourself and realize this guy's a piece of shit?
And that's when we realized it's a religion.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, man. And we'll see you next week.
If we're alive, yeah.
This has been Jim Norton and Sam Roberts. Listen whenever you want with the SiriusXM app. Free for most subscribers. Download it today and start listening outside the car.